What up? I just woke up.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. How does that work?
I woke up. I got a coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I got a miniature glass of bourbon.
At 1 p.m.?
Well, yeah, man. Fucking. What's the point if you can't enjoy yourself?
All right, cool. Yeah, that's quite a way. Do you start every day like that?
No. No, I find that I have a better time doing shit like this if I've got some bourbon. So
No, I think that's good. You'll have to bear with me a minute because this is it's going to be weird for a bit. It's a little bit surreal to talk to you one-on-one like this in this context. Because I like, this is not like a fucking interview or anything. This is like really free form.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen like some of the other discussions I've done and shit.
I have not, but
Okay.
I trust you.
Good. Okay. I mean, the theme of it is free. Like, I am really obsessed with like why some people are more successful than other people are,
Mhm.
and like what about their mindset and that kind of thing makes them like that. And you are super interesting because I started following you like 2 years ago when you were playing Overwatch.
Yeah.
And
3 years. How long ago was that shit? Fucking. I don't even remember when I stopped. I feel like I played Overwatch for a year and a half.
I think 3 or 4 years. Well, we can see, right? We can pull up the analytics. Let's see. Right? We can actually see. So
someone in chat said March 2018. That sounds like it would make sense because I feel like I stopped giving a fuck about playing it like around my birthday. So I was just like, fuck it, dude.
So you started streaming in 2016.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And what was the impetus for that? Why did you start streaming?
Because I had a good friend of mine, very good friend, message me, and the competitive mode for Overwatch just come out.
Yeah.
And they were like, "You just played against a pro player, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Wow, that's cool." And then I was like, "I'm gonna ask this person if I can play with them," because I had such a bad time in the game of Overwatch because it was like legit a 6-stack of semi-pro players and then me, and then 5 randoms that I was like, or it wasn't a full stack, I guess, because I got in right away, but it was like 5, and I just did not want to lose, so I hit up Siegel. I whispered him directly. I was like, "Hey, if you want to win some games, invite me." And he knew that I was good because he recognized me immediately and was like, "All right, I'm inviting this guy." And then he invited me, and then we proceeded to win every game that we played. That
What part of that got you to stream though?
Same friend who told me who that was, because they were watching their stream, is the same person that, and I had a very I'd stream like Smite, I'd stream and this is not a completely different Twitch account, but it wouldn't be my first time streaming. But I did it a lot and I love doing it. And she was just like, "Hey, you need to turn your stream on and go." And I was like, "All right, fine. All right." And at the time I was broke and I was living with my parents to help take care of my mom, and she had convinced my dad to buy a new PC that was just barely good enough to do Overwatch at 60 FPS on Twitch streaming, provided I did it in 720p.
Okay.
So I was like, "Okay, fine. All right, I'll do it. I'm gonna go." And then I started streaming, and the way that I did it, I was very careful not to step on Siegel's toes. I wanted to play every morning, and I wanted to have a set schedule, but I didn't want to like be like that guy's like, "Hey everybody, man, it's pretty wild on my stream right now. Consider popping over for a follow." So I never asked him for a host, I never asked him. I tried desperately, unless prompted, to never talk about my stream, but I would turn my stream on and stream alongside him. And I made it so that I would do maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours before he would get on, and an hour and a half before he would get off, or after he would get off. Designed deliberately, of course, because that's how it worked on Twitch at the time. I don't know if that's how it works anymore, because the people who watch my stream, a large majority of them are removed from that meta on Twitch. So
yeah, well now, but it's so different. I mean, Twitch moves so fast as an ecosystem that the viewers that you're going to have year over year actually have very little crossover.
Yeah.
So you streamed coinciding with Seagull, and people started to discover you that way?
Yeah, and it was slow.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean by slow?
It just slow going in terms of growth, you know. Like, I'd have a couple hundred people and it was fucking awesome, because I've always super enjoyed people watching me play video games.
Yeah.
It's been a thing. I had two brothers growing up, and I could never convince them to do it, because they wanted to do their own thing, or they wanted to do this or that or whatever. And I never really, like, in the circle of people that I knew growing up, be it my older brother's friends, who were, 5-6 years older than me, being a 12-year-old, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Or my younger brother's friends, or my friends, I was always the best at whatever game we were playing. Always, every single time. Like, I'd go over to my older brother's friend's house, where all these shitheads in high school would congregate. I'd go over there. We'd play MVC2 on Dreamcast. I'd fuck them up, dude. Like Power Stone 1 and 2, Smash Brothers Melee. Just fucking.
Why do you think you were so much better? Did you spend more time? Just practicing?
That's all I did was play video games.
Yeah.
So naturally I was better. But with that came the desire to show off while I was playing video games. So and then that translates to streaming basically directly for me. And now it's just kind of wanting to share my gameplay, because I'm like, after having been exposed to the world at large, and how good everyone is at video games, I pale in comparison to a lot of people who are FPS gods or like whatever. So
yes, I mean, you're pretty good at games, all things considered, but at least I would not classify that as a reason to watch your stream presently, right?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
Where you really excel on Twitch, and this is my greatest part of my greatest curiosity, is your improv comedy. Right? Like, and I figure you had to, because here's the thing, right? I'm like a super analytical guy that's like really serious, and people fucking hate that. So I have been streaming for 8 years, and I had a bad brand name before. You actually, the first time I subbed, you knew me as my old name, and I don't know how you did that. You knew I was Malixia.
Yep.
How did you know that?
Man, I can't remember, dude. But that's something I'm personally. I feel like because I assumed, and the reason it stuck out to me is because I assumed you were a woman based on your Twitch channel. Because I have very like growing up playing MUDs, like just
same, yeah,
fucking just recognizing, like, if I were to see that in a MUD, I'd be like, that's a woman probably, right? Or like whatever. So I think that confusion was what I was like, your name was Malixia before. I don't even remember saying that, honestly, but
yeah. So you only remember me because I could have been a girl.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Glad that we have that established. That's cool. Yeah.
Like, God, I forget where I saw your shit first, but like, dude, I investigate everybody on Twitch. Everybody. I go to everyone's channel. I've watched everyone's stream on Twitch for at least a couple of hours. I've gone to their Twitter. I've gone to their subreddits. Fucking everybody.
Why?
Because I think it's important to know how the Twitch chat meta is shifting almost. I think that, and you call me an improv comedian, but really I'm just playing off of some stupid shitheads in my Twitch chat 90% of the time, dude, because That's where the real funny motherfuckers are.
Well,
in my opinion.
No, it's more. It's got to be more than that because like what I was following up with was like the 8 years that I was streaming, I basically had like 50 to 200 viewers ish.
Yeah.
And then I switched over to Devin Nash. I actually went to improv comedy.
Yeah.
And I took classes and and now I'm still not great, but I'm a lot better than I was. And,
I wouldn't even consider myself a good improv comedian. It's just that in the scope of internet comedy and like all that shit, I just grew up in it. So like it's a part of me in a sense.
So you don't have any formal training in this?
No.
Okay. So the because when I watch you and like I take notes on how to be funny from you. That sounds really fucking dumb and a little bit scary, but that's actually how it is.
I think that's awesome. And honestly, a lot of comedy is timing, dude. But you've heard that. You've heard that before. Everyone's heard that before. It's about timing. Like it never more so than when I started my stream yesterday when we were watching that old guy eat beef stew or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was playing dramatic music over him eating this beef stew, and then like I ended the video at the perfect time. Like if you want to go back, like it's like it's like a sensation that I get personally whenever I time something well or I know that it's well timed. I'm like that's it, dude. Like that's it. Fucking...
Like when you dropped from the bell and like hit the guy with the axe in that game in Bone Wars.
Yeah. Like that less so. I mean more like
but you're always trying to create those moments, it feels like. And some of them don't work, and then that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't say I'm actively trying to create those moments. I see more opportunity. I mean, maybe I guess you could say that I'm actively trying to, but like I'm able to identify shit that would be funny. I guess I don't know.
How do you do that? Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what. Like, I don't know why I thought playing Scary Movie over that old guy eating beef stew would be funny. You know,
we will figure this out on this show. We have to. This is my objective. Do you have any comedy history? Did you watch stand up when you were young? Were your mom and dad funny people?
No.
Fuck. Okay.
But I did.
Brothers?
No, I would not. I would say I grew up feeling pretty apart from my family in the sense that I felt like I was very different from them, even though I know I'm not adopted, etc, whatever. But honestly, it was I grew up feeling Omega like edgy. Not like edgy in the traditional sense, but I was like I feel completely like
black and goth clothes and stuff like
no,
that.
I didn't dress like a goth kid or anything like that, but I grew up feeling like I was different, and that basically influenced all of my interactions with everyone that I knew. I wasn't weird about it, and obviously, I'm pretty personable to be able to run a stream of this size, you know, and that's something that's that's how I've always been, but that isn't how I've always been. I feel like I can pinpoint the exact moment where like I figured out how to interact with other people, and it was when I was in middle school, dude. And I have this story that I've told my stream tons of times, but I had a bully in the 6th grade. I went to middle school in Virginia Beach, and he had like a couple of friends, whatever. He was way bigger than I was. And I remember walking up to him and being like, "Hey, why are you bullying me?" And he's like, "I don't know." I was like, "Well, let's be friends." He was like, "All right." And then we became friends. I went over to his house the next day. We got on AOL Instant Messenger. We went to chat rooms. We were fucking playing flash games and shit. And then like, that was it, you know? And then I realized that that's what I enjoyed that whole exchange so much so that I became more aware of what people thought of me or what people were thinking in general. I consider myself pretty empathetic, but I can be pretty, when it comes to personal relationships, pretty ignorant and aloof.
In what sense?
Just for example, I completely forgot about our like this podcast last week.
That's true.
Boom.
Yeah.
Because I had something else happening in my life that was just like an impetus to just completely focus on that, because I had neglected that so much that it popped up, and like I had to fucking, so, but like when it comes, I'm very good at meeting people. I'd make a good Walmart greeter, dude.
Basically, it's just a Walmart greeter for 15,000 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So let me like give a little bit of really boring background on like my thinking here, because I think it'll provide some context to get like deeper answers. So I think that there's a sort of Jungian way of looking at this, in the sense that like every single thing that we are, right, is defined by our upbringing or our environment or the ecosystem to which we have grown in to some way, right?
Yeah.
So I think that if you are this like sort of hilariously funny personable guy, which is really jerking you off like a ton, but like you know what I mean, right? Enough to run this show. That would indicate to me that there are these sort of probably inflection points in your life and your past that have sort of culminated in that existence, right? Yeah.
I would credit growing up playing Muds was a big one. That taught me a
tell
lot.
me more about that.
Okay, so I'm not gonna name names. Obviously, you know what a Mud is, but
I played Muds like
Dude,
I wasted most of my life on Muds, actually.
Yeah,
and
same.
and lost basically everything. And I played RPIs.
I've played RPIs.
Have you played
like Iron Realms ones, or
I'm gonna message you
or
the
Gemstone?
Because I don't want to say it on stream.
Oh yeah, I don't want to. I definitely would not want people to know which Muds.
Have you played that Mud? It's very famous.
Oh my god, I was actually looking about playing that one like a couple of nights ago, dude.
Don't do it.
Well, I've read some horror stories about this one.
They're all true. All of them.
No, I believe it.
I played that Mud for 7-8 years. I've never told my stream anything about this. I never will. Yeah,
dude. No.
Yeah.
Don't.
No. I lost my entire life to this shit. Like,
dude, did you work on it?
No, luckily I never became staff, but the thing is, like, there's no out of character, right? There's none. So you are literally just your character, and you become your character.
No, I've played games just like that.
Yeah.
And that was honestly my game of choice, because I enjoyed role playing.
Mm-hmm. Same.
And usually especially in this one, because it's pretty high risk. I'm not going to say any more.
Everything's on the table. Yeah.
I forget what. Oh yeah, Muds taught me how to be social with people online, like 100 million%. So much so that I remember I played one in particular. I started playing when I was 14 years old. And the lady that ran the game, it was actually a pair of people that ran the game. I duped them into thinking that I was at least 20 years old. And I was 14 at the time. Just by the way that I would type, by the way that I behaved, and I convinced them that I was hireable.
Okay.
And they hired me onto their game. I was 14 years old. I did great work. Even in retrospect, I know that I did good work.
You said it was was it this game?
Hold on, I'll tell you which game it was.
Okay. Because I oh shit!
Yeah,
yeah. This is a very small community, dude.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
And this was like 2005. And I fucking loved it. I loved working on Muds. I loved helping people. I loved sorting applications out. I loved just deliberating, blah blah blah, whatever. And like eventually the people above me found out, the coder for the game. We'd play Halo 2 together. That's Xbox Live. He was a cool guy. He's a Canadian guy, and he liked me so much that he promoted me to his admin. So I was basically second command of this place, and I was making decisions. I was in like, this is a role play focused environment as well. So I was it was awesome.
Was this RPI like there was no out of character, or was it just like kind of
there was out of character, but and there was a lot of out of character cheating, just like in the one that you told me.
Yes.
But that's how it goes with any like RP focus.
It's
environment
because
like
we make jokes about Twitch chat being neckbeards, but these are the true neckbeards. These are people that they like have their own world. They're like Mormons, like right, like they like sit, like they're like, this is my planet, this is my thing, like this is the shit that and it just gets fucking crazy. Like there's like 30 people on the game, and they're the lords over it.
How many people in chat have actually played a mud, dude? Because
any people over 12 in this chat, like. Probably. We tend to age. I don't know what the fuck this audience is today, but we tend to age higher on the stream. So yeah, like I think a lot of people would have probably played one.
I've had people tell me, and like I've mentioned it in brief on my stream. Yeah. I've had people mention the mud that I mentioned to you in particular, and say that they played this one, and if I played it, and messages like that I just ignore.
100%. Yeah, same.
But I recognized their in-game name. I recognized what years they would have played, what characters they would have played.
Yeah.
And it blew my fucking mind that they happened to end up literally 10 years later on my stream as a 30-month subscriber to my channel.
How fucking crazy is that?
Dude, it's awesome.
It's actually insane.
Because if you take the ecosystem of MUDs, which is like thousands of people, like not even like 3,000 people, and then all of a sudden in the future, so one of them ends up not a fucking degenerate shithead, has a job, has disposable income to subscribe, goes to Twitch. It is a transplant from a 3,000 size community, which is interspersed like villages on the planet Namek and DBZ. and then they go to Twitch, and then that's a bunch of different fucking islands, and then they end up on my island, and then they subscribe to me, dude. It was fucking nuts. It has happened like multiple fucking times.
So we are talking, chat, about what is called a multi-user dungeon. So if anybody ever played, so the natural evolution of this was MMOs. Okay, so EverQuest 1 was basically a MUD with like a graphical interface.
In fact, actually, the people who made EverQuest basically stole 99% of their ideas from a game that they were playing.
That's right,
and they just converted it to a graphical interface, basically.
Yes, and so a multi-user dungeon is like there's a text input that's usually done by like carrots like this. And then there will be like a room description, and it'll be like, you see a small dwarf sitting here. And then you'll be like, okay, kill dwarf, right? And then like it'll initiate some code that activates and goes back and forth. And this sounds really dumb the way that we're explaining it, but it actually is really, you could lose your entire shit to this. And Moon, if you play that game that I've mentioned, like right now, you might never stream again.
Well,
I don't do it.
No, believe me. I know life these games for so long that I know what's at risk.
I think
like I got and I still do it. I still play. Certain ones, and I have a time limit. I make sure that I don't exceed the time limit, that I don't get too involved with any plots or whatever, and then I'm just done, dude. You know?
I had to like hard. Like if I gave you the story of everything, I mean, I lost everything in my life to those games, and I do mean everything. I mean, like I restarted from zero because of those games. Like I'm the same way. There are certain games that if I go out and do those things, it's over.
Yeah,
like I just am not a human being anymore. I'm literally like an incarnation of a potato.
Dude, I played these from probably like my dad was in the Navy, and he had a friend who they have this thing called God, I forget what they called it. I think it was called being on duty. And basically if you had a job in the Navy that where your job was not doable unless you had something in the shop that could be repaired, you'd sit in an office and answer phone calls, basically.
Yeah.
So naturally, this is the perfect opportunity for these people in the Navy to mud, dude.
Yeah.
And I remember one time my parents threw, we were still living in Virginia Beach. They threw a party, and one of my dad's Navy friends got on our shitty Gateway PC, fucking downloaded Zmud, and I was like, what
I
the
use
fuck
Zmud
is
all
this?
the time. Yeah.
Dude, it sat on our desktop for the longest time, and I just couldn't figure it out. And then I met my best friend in probably the second grade, and around the third grade, his stepbrother taught both of us how to mud, basically. And then I realized what the Zmud thing was, blah blah blah, whatever. And I basically done it from like the third grade all the way to my mid-20s, hardcore, like in my spare time.
Holy shit, dude! And you still do it?
Occasionally. But I mean, it's mainly for just recreation. Like honestly, like because my favorite ones were the RP ones, and
Right.
they get pretty heavy into the plot and stuff or whatever. But
Especially if you're in like a leadership position, like you have so many things. I mean, you're basically running like an empire at some point, you know? Like, and it's real shit because people are depending on you for login times and stuff like that. Like,
yeah. But no, I fucking, I'll swear by Muds even today, even though I got so swept up in them, dude.
I feel that is an insane touch point that we both have, like that I didn't expect to hear. Like I actually like don't even tell my family about that. Like I like even the closest people in my life, it's just a thing that like, and now like my girlfriend will ask because she hears this on the show, and I'll just be like, "Yay, I don't know, like that's not a thing that we talk about." Yeah, like
my parents could care less. My little brother mudded with me, and we'd play games together occasionally. But we'd play God, there's one in particular that's pretty high up in the ratings. It's just a hack and slash. I forget which one it's called though, but like it's got like a couple hundred people on it all the time. And it's like a standard fucking like I think it's like Deku mud or circle mud or some shit.
So this is this is a way that you actually learned to embody different. Oh fuck! I'm about to. This is some fucking 8-head shit. I'm getting super excited. Okay, so like this is because through RPIs, I played different characters that weren't me, and by doing that, I was able to sort of embody other elements that I would otherwise be uncomfortable with because I wasn't socially attuned to those things.
Yeah.
So you had the same experience.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I had to. What I would do, because I'd play characters that were, like fucking hardcore murderers, like
sure, anything, yeah.
Like, and naturally, I'm not a murderer. Like, that's just like an extreme example. And the way that I started to do it is that I would write out a character sheet, and I'd write strengths and weaknesses, and then I made it a point to look over it every time I'd make like a serious in-game decision and be like, does this conflict or whatever. And follow-up point, this is why when I played GTRP for a couple of months, that what they call RP and what I'm familiar with,
it's not even close.
Dude, it's like kindergarten versus like fucking Harvard University.
Straight up, dude. It's like people that are basically playing a version of themselves in a character. Yeah, it's like no, it's like you make like a character that's like your opposite gender, that's like a super empathetic person, that's like a leader of like an empire that would never do the things you do. That's like real RP, right? And like has motivations that you have to question, or even makes ethical decisions that you would never make. Yeah, that's real RP. Like I think I was watching a stream of yours in GTA when you actually said that, and you were like, "Yeah, you guys like this isn't real RP," and I was like, "I fucking vibe with that super hard." Yeah,
like. Oh my god, I could rant about that forever. I'm sure Chad's tired of hearing.
That's we're gatekeeping super hard on RP, but it's fucking fine. Like it's super true. So, but I guess why it is important is because like I'm looking for like motivations as to how you sort of embodied this person that you are, and that's a big motivator. It makes a lot of sense.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that these characters helped you break out of otherwise socially inaccessible roles that you now can embody because you had the sort of comfort zone to practice them.
Yeah, no, definitely. And you meet all sorts of people online, and they were either hostile or not hostile, depending on your disposition to them. And when I was working as staff on that game, people that were mad or not mad, or appreciative or not appreciative. Yeah, dude, I feel like despite it being a solely isolationist kind of habit, I learned a lot about interacting with people from playing these games, dude. Straight up.
Yeah.
And I definitely use a lot of the skills that I have now, or that I learned from that now, like for sure. 100%.
That doesn't explain your comedy. Because that's not something you learn from RPIs typically.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Yes.
So I would say, I've always been a kind of like when I was in elementary school, I was a class clown a little bit. Not so much in high school. And middle school was probably my least favorite time during primary school, just because I moved immediately after, like that bully story I told you. I moved the next year. My best friend still in Virginia Beach, and I ended up moving to Jacksonville, Florida, because my dad was in the military still.
Mm-hmm.
And he got
that's a huge change.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to re-meet everybody. It was the 7th grade. My middle school was in the fucking ghetto. Like, it was just completely deplorable experience. Fortunately, my high school experience is way fucking better, like in every way, dude. And actually, I took a break from playing MUDs like hardcore because I met people, and then we'd fucking party and hang out and like, whatever. But I actually some of my best friends in high school, and even in middle school, actually, and I got my group of friends that I met in middle school. I introduced to my high school friends, and I actually got them into mudding too, and they played the same one that I told you about.
Yeah.
And that's like a common thing that they were fucking like, my friends growing up were so good, so fucking good. And like ride or die, always had your back, never like any weird fucking like God, I don't even know how to describe it. Like someone that would just like ditch you, like never anything like that, dude. And I forgot why we were talking about this.
Because we're trying to figure out why you're funny.
I credit that a lot to playing TF2.
In what way?
I'm playing on community servers and getting involved in their communities and meeting people online from all different like edgy motherfuckers, not edgy motherfuckers, and then just kind of combining it. Because like you said, on MUDs, you don't really, because it's older people basically. So
it's older and it's more. It's especially RPIs are just more serious. Like they're just. I mean, you could, in theory, play like a jokester character, but you kind of like have to be like a bum waving their dick at things, like that kind of thing. Like, yeah, you'd have to like, it wouldn't be like an actual like a stand-up comedian, right? Because you've usually got some like real shit going on.
And they, it honestly took me a little bit to get fully privy to internet humor, honestly, because I was so far removed from the source of it for so long, especially on Twitch. I didn't get into Twitch until probably 2013 or 2012, and it had basically just become Twitch, I think.
Yeah.
My brother streamed on Owned, and he streamed on another old website. It wasn't Justin; it was a different one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd used streaming software as early as 2010 or 2011, using Live Streamer because I didn't know how to set it up. I didn't know what kind of software, or I didn't know how to use the software. So I would stream to my best friend and share screen caps of the roguelike games that I was playing. Like I was playing Tales of Maj'Al, I was playing Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, and whenever I'd get really far, I'd tell him to hop on, and then I'd show him my character, basically.
Yeah.
And I fucking love doing that.
You played Tales of Maj'Al? Hang on, did I just catch that?
Yeah.
I have 600 hours on that game.
Dude, I've had
holy shit.
I also have probably that many, but I've never beaten the game because I play on the roguelike difficulty. I play on the one.
I also play on the roguelike difficulty. I spent my entire time in college trying to beat that game, and I finally did.
And I've never.
I beat it. It's so hard. I beat it on a really shit cheap build that I'm trying to remember. It was one of the builds that like sleeps all the enemies. It's one of the unlocks, like a Sai. I'll remember
was
it.
If the Possessor? No, I don't fuck with the Sai classes, honestly, because I don't like their playstyle.
You can. I also almost beat. I got to the very last, like the very highest mountain, like because you have to ascend this like huge, like it's like 90 levels or something with these fucking insane monsters.
I don't even know.
Oh, okay. Like and like I had like a one of those elementalists that can cast like the firestorms.
Just Archmage.
Archmage was right. Yeah. A high elven Archmage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I got almost to the end, but then I got one shot, and I was like, cool. Yeah.
That's how that game goes.
Yeah.
Dude, because I'm used to playing Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, and
I
usually
played that for hundreds of hours as well. Yeah.
there's a little bit of like I play a game really fast, and I'm guilty of mashing buttons.
That's
right?
not good.
But in Tales of Maj'Al, it's especially punishing because you can literally fucking die in one turn just for something that turns the corner and like stuns you, and then you're stunned for fucking 8 turns.
Yeah,
And then
because
you got shit wailing on you for 8 turns, and you're fucking dead.
because there's like when you see something, that's when you can react. But then like if you take another turn, it warps to you. It like it has this fucking 80 attacks with like it petrify like all kinds of dumb shit.
I don't know when the last time you played is. Like I played as recently as like a month ago.
Okay, it's been a while.
They added like how they're like set like bosses with like the yellow name.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
They added the orange bosses. Have you heard of like the random uniques, like the random unique bosses?
Oh shit!
So basically they're just like a more powerful monster with a player class, and they're just like scattered around like every map. So you might just randomly get like a Cyanosis slime or some shit that just fucking like mind bends you, and then you're stunned.
What
and then,
the fuck?
Yeah,
you know what's really crazy?
It's like a minefield.
That entire game is made by one guy.
Dark God. That guy's my friend on Steam.
Really?
I gifted him a game the other day.
Holy shit. That's actually crazy.
I gifted him I gifted him Blade and Sorcery because I was looking up DLC or some shit, and I was like, this guy wants this game. And I was like, all right, boom, I'm gonna gift this guy a game. Boom.
It's unbelievable that guy like made that entire, because that game is now like probably as much in depth as Stone Soup was. Yeah,
for sure.
And that was my entire college. Was I would just sit in the back of class, not listen to the instructor at all, and play Stone Soup and Tales of Maj'Al. That's it. Yeah, and like,
did you have friends that like got you into this, or did you just kind of fucking?
I like you. I brought friends into it. So like I brought a lot of people into college. Some of them like still do it today.
Yeah,
and yeah, like I had like a kind of group of people that I would play it with, especially that one mud that I brought up to you.
Yeah.
And there's actually like a guy watching that's a friend from maybe 9 years ago, and he was
I bet I could point him out.
Yeah.
I think he said something like 20 seconds ago.
And he's like, holy shit, I can't believe Moon Moon's talking about this. Like, right, he Discorded me. Yeah, and so like there are still like people in my life from that time who I talk to now. And like they're sort of like blood brothers, right? Because like there's such a small ecosystem of people. Like
my best friend got me into roguelike games. I remember the first time I played was Adom. I don't know if you've ever played Adom.
Yeah, of course.
Classic roguelike, fucking one of the obscure ones in that the way to victory is obscure. And I remember he introduced me to a guy that actually got me also into Romance of the Three Kingdoms, because he wanted to he was obsessed with Romance of the Three Kingdoms, like the mythos or the book etc, because he ended up going to college for Mandarin. To learn Mandarin so that he could teach English in China, and I'm pretty sure he's in China right now. I can't remember. This dude loved roguelikes. He loved Doom, like classic Doom 1, Doom 2. He got me into custom maps for Doom 2, and he got me into roguelikes, and he got me into board games. And fucking dude, like I love my life as it is. I would not exchange it for anything, but some of the best times of my life were just fucking sitting in my friend's garage, fucking smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, like playing muds, playing board game, playing fucking whatever, dude, and just like sharing notes with my friends, dude. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, there's a certain one of the things that's so powerful about RPIs in particular, and about like Tales of Maj'Al, is there's just no fucking Google for it. Like within reason, right? Like Tales of Maj'Al has like a wiki now and all that sort of stuff, but like you could still end up in a zone and be like, okay, what the fuck do I do now? Because there's a certain amount of RNG that's like, if you're not prepared for it, you don't understand your skills, you're fucked.
Especially so. When I got into Adom, I remember my that same guy who learned Mandarin sent me the Adom guidebook. I don't know if you know what that is.
No,
but it's like 100-page. It was a 100-page document with all that was compiled by somebody that played Adom, not even the person who made it.
Yeah,
about the game, and it was awesome. And I used that to like cross reference or whatever. It was like before like. like before there was a wiki or whatever. It was awesome.
I feel you, dude. Like, dude, you're like probably the only, like, people in chat are gonna think I'm so dumb. I never said this on stream, but like you're like one of the only people I think would truly understand this. Like, I've done some crazy shit in my life. Like, I've sold a multi-million-dollar company. I've like gone to different places in the world. Like, I've done a lot of really cool shit, and I don't know if any of that like really equals some of the top moments that I've had on RPIs.
Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah,
Like,
it doesn't feel the same.
I've done some. There's so many. I know. I totally. I totally agree.
You feel me? Like, it's like
I still think fondly about like stories that I've been involved in the past, and compared to now, where I have one of the most successful Twitch streams. I got one I love booting my stream up and fucking seeing people that I always see in chat. I love seeing them in there. I fucking love playing video games on stream. Whatever, dude. But fucking. Yeah, no, for real.
It's like a bit of a tangent, but Jesus Christ, like I feel like you're probably one of the only people, and we could probably talk about this offline at some point. But like, yeah, it's very weird that like I'm the same exact way, right? I'm so infinitely grateful. There's so much cool shit that has happened in my life, but I go back to some of these plots or storylines that I was involved in, some of the characters, and I'm just like, that was actually a better life. Yeah. It's like a part of you just like gravitate. That's like your shadow at all times that gravitates towards that way.
It's always made me feel bad because I remember people talking about like being addicted to WoW or like EverQuest or whatever. I just fucking rolled my eyes, dude. I was like the interaction in that game was like you put the coin in and then you play the game, right?
But and like, you get something out of something that comes back out.
But like in like an RPI mode or whatever, it was just kind of like way more dynamic and fucking emotionally investing, and just I couldn't.
And like, when you lose a character,
yeah, dude, because the game I told you about also, that. So
because like that was the thing, dude. Is like you'd have months and months and months invested, and then something would happen, and there was absolutely no rules around like you're not getting it back, no matter what.
The one I played, you could contest your deaths.
Yeah, you can't do that in the one that I was on. Yeah, it was just like go fuck your. I died to a lot of bugs. Like it was like I was like go fuck yourself. Like I was like, oh my god. I mean like crying tears. Like getting drunk in a room somewhere because I'm so depressed as a result of that.
I don't think I've ever gotten to that point, but I've definitely I've teared up.
But you understand it. Yeah.
Like just because it's a very emotional experience, man.
Yeah.
And I definitely credit those games to like 90% of my internet persona and personality in general is as a result of the interactions that I had with God knows how many motherfuckers online in that context, dude. Straight up.
Shit. It makes so much sense. So you do a lot of things that are very weird for a Twitch streamer.
Like what?
Well, you're totally in isolation. Let's start there, right?
Yeah.
You basically don't. You've come on the Scuff podcast, which is fucking awesome, and and I think that's amazing. But you don't.
You do a good job of that because I know he doesn't organize the fucking questions.
Not at all. It's a complete shit show.
Does chat know how you handle like the questions and stuff? Like, do they know that you put them together?
I don't think so. I don't make a big deal of it. It's
there's a doc, and it gets shared with everyone who goes on the show, and it like every time I've only been on it twice. But it goes off script so many times. But there's so many good prompts, like they just never get used. Yeah. Every time it feels bad.
I'll have like a 2-page like essay on it, and it will be like, "Hey, you can ask this question." They're like, "What do you think about Twitch bans?" And I'm like, "Oh fuck, here we are." like a 2-hour discussion about Jenna or something. Like, yeah.
Man, first of all, I want to talk about that. All the motherfuckers in Twitch chat who are like, boo, 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 you're talking about stream problems, boo, boo, boo. Motherfucker, you're on a streaming website, on a podcast run by streamers. That should be the main topic.
Yeah.
And you should not be mad about it, you fucking whiny little 16-year-old bitch. Fucking watch some more React videos, please. I want to watch my favorite streamer react. Like it's such bullshit. I would never feel bad about like if I had a podcast that would basically like it would be only streamer stuff, straight up.
Here's the thing. They don't know what they want.
Yeah.
So that's the actual truth of it, okay? It's like they're like, I don't want the streamer topics, and then like as soon as you stop the streamer topics, they're like, Resident Sleeper, this is so fucking boring, right? Like it's just the best.
You know what I learned?
What?
Like we use they like it's like this grand like empirical.
Oh, like a hive mind.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not.
It's a series of individuals.
It's like 50 people out of like 10,000 people who are just spamming hardcore.
Yeah, there's like most people are just lurking, sitting there. They're like, "This is great," you know, like or whatever. Like I'm just chilling. Like normal people with like healthy lives that are like have 2 monitors and they're listening to the podcast kind of while they play a game. And then there's this one like try hard idiot that's in the chat that's like, "Yeah, I'm so fucking mad." Yeah, like, just like.
Let me tell you why I'm an isolationist because I don't want people like that in my fucking stream. And guess what? I don't get them because I have been outright hostile to that style and that like that fucking Twitch community. Dude. Yeah. Straight up. And like a lot of people mistake that for elitism. A lot of people mistake that for me being a cunt. and I completely understand it.
And you're willing to pay that price.
but at the end of the day, it's a fucking comfort thing, dude.
100%. You can't go insane when you're on your own stream.
And I don't want an echo chamber, and I don't get an echo chamber because I don't view my stream like that. Like that's not like I'm not like asking my chat, oh, what do you guys think about it if I play this game? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm not expecting to be like, oh my god, I would love to watch you play this game. Like I pick the games that I want to play. I play them. I hang out with shitheads on my Twitch chat who fucking crack stupid jokes, and then I end my stream. And like that's it, dude.
Yeah.
But my viewers watch other streamers on Twitch, and I view it like my stream's Puerto Rico, and then the rest of Twitch is fucking the rest of the United States of America. because they come swap all the same viewers.
Because all your citizens have no money. Yeah. Okay, no, I'm sorry. Keep going.
they like it honestly feels that way.
Yeah.
It feels and believe me, that wasn't my strategy going into it. Mm-hmm. I wasn't like I want to be rude to X in order to cultivate Y. It was like I just didn't want to see certain things in my Twitch chat because it made me feel like shit, dude.
Yeah, and that has so there's a theory that I want to tell you about. That it was pioneered by the New York Police Department. It's called broken window theory. Do you know what this is?
No.
Okay, so it's really straightforward. The idea is imagine that someone comes by a building and goes fuck this window and breaks it. Okay, and then nobody fixes it. Yeah. Right. So there's broken glass on the ground, and that's just what it is. Well, then someday somebody comes over and is like, "Oh, there's a broken window here. This is kind of shitty." And they paint some graffiti there, and then they leave. Right? Nobody fixes that either. So then somebody starts selling drugs on the corner because it looks kind of seedy, right? And so this progressively gets worse and worse. And what ends up happening is like eventually maybe somebody gets shot there, and it's just because you didn't fix the initial toxicity, so it allowed itself to snowball. It just
gets worse,
and it became the expectation.
Dude, let me say,
and that's Twitch chat.
Like last year, or even like 2018, like that, like post Ice Poseidon, fucking all that shit. It was definitely snowballing, but I honestly feel like the snowball has broken at this point. And like we'll use XQC for example. Yeah, and he still spurs out hardcore towards Twitch chat when like like view count drops and he is playing a game that he likes but his Twitch chat doesn't like. He'll still yell at them a little bit. Mm-hmm. But it was way worse years ago. And I like 2 years ago. Now I would say that overall, like the people who participate in Twitch chat are definitely way more welcoming about most things. They're not like as aggressively mean or like it's like the vocal minority that was like screeching about stuff has just like fucking like petered off or like just completely stopped going on Twitch because I don't see it. And maybe it's just because I haven't been watching these people.
Well, I also think it's a factor of how you've cultivated your community. So, like, because I also know that you watch other people, but like, people tend to give you a lot of shit on Reddit when you say things like Like one of the most like open criticisms is like, oh, like Moon always says that like the streamer is sort of a reflection of the chat, and you can control your chat, you can rein that shit in, and like that, and they kind of find that absurd. I absolutely think that's true, right?
Dude, all I'm saying is that I could do it if I had 30,000 viewers, if I had 35,000, but it would have to be like a gradual building up to that point, probably.
Yeah.
As it stands now, it's just kind of, I don't know what else to compare it to, but you know, I would say right now we're hovering around like 12,000, 13,000 average viewers every stream, which is fucking, it's up for me. Previously, 2020 is our year. I've been lucky enough to only ever experience growth, even if just a little bit.
You want to know some crazy shit about that? You're one of the only variety broadcasters. You might be the only variety broadcaster that's doing that. True variety broadcaster. Yes. So streamers that are on the platform for 4 or 5 years and
they go down.
Yeah, but not only are they going down, they're decreasing about 20 or 30% a year.
You know what it is? Because even though you called me an isolationist, and I definitely feel like that's true, I feel like I'm still abreast of everything else happening on Twitch, and so much so that still has the potential to extract people from other streams to come watch my stream, and like that's not necessarily the point, but it happens, dude. People like will click my stream and be like, "Oh, this guy removed OW from his name," or "Oh, this guy is playing a game that I like. I thought he only played Overwatch," or like that's still happening. And honestly, it like even like. That was like the big one, dude. Before I removed the OW from my name, I was like, I thought this guy or like
was an Overwatch streamer.
I thought this guy was an Overwatch streamer.
Dude,
I was like, bitch, what the fuck? I've been at the top of like the top 10 of Twitch for God knows how long.
That's a bit of a tangent, but it drives me fucking crazy. What like the thing that you're doing from your RP streams, where it's like you play a game for 2 months, and then every day, dude, where's Young Dab? Why want Young Dab? Why don't you go back to? It's like, holy shit. Shut the fuck up, dude.
The RP, the Twitch RP community is like a whole different beast, dude.
Yeah, similar to the Dungeons and Dragons community, if you've ever been familiar with that.
Yeah, they don't go anywhere else on Twitch. I think the Twitch RP community is like directly exported from YouTube, because the YouTube GTA videos, at least at the time and like before that point, before it blew up on Twitch, super big. There was a couple of people who even streamed GTA roleplay on Twitch that were prolific YouTubers before that point. But as a result, they are more like normal people who think it's okay to like not wear their Twitch chat garb and then to come into my Twitch chat and be like, bro, play this fucking game, you stupid retard. I'm working in a warehouse right now on a forklift, and I'm wearing a tank top, and I'm a normal human being who actually contributes to society, and I'm expecting you to do this for me because you are an asshole. Fuck you, dude.
And it's I watch so like I have like a routine where I'll usually like I have two fucking full-time jobs because I run an agency too, right? So like I do this stream in the mornings, and it's like usually this like discussion shit, then I do my agency shit, and then I come home. And so like I'm home at about like 7 p.m., which is usually when you're on. So I'll make like some food and watch you every fucking day. Someone comes in about the Young Dab shit without fail every day. It's amazing, dude. And like that is one of those things that's like one of the things that I this is my demon on this is I'm a competitive dancer. So sometimes I'll be doing like an activation with somebody, right? Like I had Hotchubby over this weekend, and we did like a dance
when
thing.
You say competitive dancing, do you mean like fucking like break dancing, like back and forth, or like
freestyle, freeform, like tournament dancing?
Okay,
but yeah, like that kind of stuff. And so like I actually like it's like a hobby, right? Like and what happens is I will like do like a special where people are like, oh, like he can dance, and like all like for example, like this weekend we had like a studio thing. And Hotchubby came, and we did like a dance session just to have fun, right? Okay. And invariably for the next like 3 months.
Wait, that was you? I saw the clips on Reddit
in the Pikachu costume.
I couldn't make your like the face out of the person in the Pikachu costume.
Good.
I didn't click it because
Good.
I don't usually click those clips on Twitter.
Why would you? Yeah, good. Number one, I'm glad you didn't recognize me, and number two, I'm glad you didn't click that clip. And I don't encourage you
I
to
would
go
have
back and
recognized you if I had fucking clicked it, but I didn't.
Yeah, it's that was me in the costume. Yes, she made me put it on at gunpoint, and then we danced. But that's a special event, right? But invariably, for the next like 3 months, people are like, "Are you gonna dance on your stream?" I'm like, "No, shut the fuck up. This is an industry stream where we talk about meta shit." Like, right? And, like, it's endless. It's like people attribute this thing to you, like you're the Overwatch guy, or you're the RP guy, and then that's what you. I'm CEO Andy. I can't leave. I'm CEO Andy, and that's my thing. Like,
dude, you know what? The way that I coped with that was being mean to them.
What? What do you mean?
Just yelling at people that request certain things in my Twitch chat, or just calling them fucking idiots, whatever. But now I realize that I feel bad about it a little bit, because these people liked me enough to follow my stream, to wait 10 minutes to post in my Twitch chat, to ask me to do something that they recognized me from.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily because they feel I'm only capable of doing that thing, but that's their way of communicating with me online in such a way that like it's like they're trying to touch base with me, and I feel bad about it sometimes. Yeah, because my response is fuck you. I can do other stuff. You stupid asshole. You eat shit.
I'm more than just this. It's like a person getting typecasted in a role. Like fucking, I imagine like Patrick Stewart yelling at people when they call him "Hey Picard." He's like, "Shut the fuck up. I can do other things. I've done theater. I've done Shakespeare. You don't know me." Like, but it's like that.
It's different though, because Picard has, or not Picard, but
you did it.
Patrick Stewart is dealing with people who are professionals who are trying to cast him in X or Y, right?
He still gets that fan on the street though.
Absolutely.
That's like, "Hey, Picard," like, yeah.
But that person doesn't have any bearing on his success, like in the grand scope. But the random shithead in my Twitch, yeah, absolutely. That's one person that may have never come back, and like I've definitely tried to dial it back a little bit, especially in the last couple of months. But man, after I stopped GTA roleplay, dude, I remember one of the last things I said on my last GTA roleplay stream. I was like, if you are expecting me to play GTA roleplay within the next year or whatever, fucking unfollow my channel.
Yeah.
I got almost 10,000 unfollows. Almost 10,000 unfollows, because I had like 40K people watching my stream, my last GTA roleplay stream, and they were like, "All right, peace, bitch." I was like, "Fine." Boom. But I mean, you occasionally get people who filter in, and like the first month after that point is so important to like put down your foot, to establish some boundaries as a streamer.
Yeah.
Like this is not okay. And for me, that was to call them stupid idiots, basically. And I did it like that.
Do you have the same problem with people that are mad at you if you're on time or not?
So the on time stuff is, I don't actually feel bad about,
because to me that's exactly the same thing. It's people that are like are in your chat and they're like, "You're 5 minutes. You're 5 minutes."
So,
yeah, like.
So let me.
But it's the same thing. They love you, right? They're there to check out your show.
Exactly. They're there first. They're there before everyone else.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And they're 99% of the time memeing. That's why. When it comes to the GTA roleplay stuff, like I said, the people who were into GTA roleplay, they probably moved on now to like TikTok or whatever. They're fucking they were normal people who have never been on Twitch, who didn't understand the Twitch chat meta, who were not like actual Twitch chatters, coming into my Twitch chat being like, so I had to.
There's a form of mental aikido that's one of my streamer friends, a guy named Zizarin. And he's like one of my best friends on the platform, and like he does this thing where like a person will come in and they'll be like just a total shithead. So just to be fair and like to give Zizarin the credit, he doesn't always do this. If he's having like a long stream or something like that, and sometimes he just like loses it like we all do. But he has this mental aikido he does where the person will come in and be like, "Yeah, fuck you, dude," and he'll be like, "Hey man, like it sounds like you're having a really tough day, and like I hope it gets better." And he's had so many people come back to him and subscribe like a day later, like, "Sorry, I was an asshole."
Dude, I've had people like that. but I try to cultivate, and sometimes I slip up and I'll say some shit that's too real. But I try like that. I would qualify that as like saying like, "Hey man, sounds like you're having a bad day." Is too real. I like too, and I do it. I used to do it every day. At least one time, I would get mad at somebody in Twitch chat. I'd call them fucking losers or failures, and like it would get too fucking real. And that is like a huge turnoff for just people who are just trying to watch your
just
stream.
trying to like chill after work, and they're like, "Holy shit!" Like this guy's toxicity. Yes, but you have a way, I think, and this is something that is like really important to your stream, is in the culture of your stream. You have a way of absolutely shitting on someone, but making it like funny enough. And this is actually something I'm really trying to learn. Because I would do this. I would go into like someone would come into chat and they'd ask me some dumbass question about analytics or something. They'd be like, "Why is like Mixer getting more popular than Twitch?" And I'd be like, "It isn't, you fucking idiot. It's 2% of 98%. Like literally, what kind of thing do you have to do?" Like, and then they'd be like, "Holy shit, man!" So you have a way of like destroying someone's soul, but like it perfectly fits, and even they laugh at it, right?
Hold on, I recognize Nando and Chess's Moon told me he was gonna piss on my face while I slept. Another guy, Stony Hawk, says called me a retard like a week ago. Like it's about like early on. I think it was important to establish my my general identity, but now like I feel like that stuff like that has no place on my stream, especially recently. I don't think anyone actually likes it, and you may say that I'm being funny while I'm shitting on these people, but like that's like a thing of the past. I feel like I don't like it. I don't like doing it. Sometimes it just comes out because I get mad, but like
hold on a sec.
I think the majority of people who are saying that they think it's funny when I do it are just being nice to me because they know that I have overstepped my boundaries in the sense that I'm yelling at somebody who was either trying to make a bad joke or was just fucking whatever, dude. So I always feel bad afterwards when I do it. Every time, dude. And I was thinking, like, I can name actual names of people that I said some shit to days ago.
Oh yeah.
Well, like
that you
recently,
remember.
that I am just like remorseful about it. Like I saw that one of the guys in another Twitch chat today, and I was like, oh my god, I said some shit to that guy that was like super fucking rude, and I wonder if he took it personally. He probably didn't, but there's a chance that he did, you know. And I totally value people who like that guy who are just shit posting in my chat and other people's chat. Like I think I saw him in Force's chat or some shit. He was fucking like those are my people. Those are my people, and I more than anything else, I don't want those people to not want to watch my stream because I think they're fucking hilarious. I think that like people like that in me, like it gives me good improv material, like you said, to fucking bounce off of them, bounce back, and it just. So when I get mad, like when they make a joke that's not funny, I always feel bad about it every time because at my immediate reaction is to be like, "You fucking idiot! You're stupid! You're dumb cunt!" But man, I just. So I if there's no, and this is something I think about a lot, but there's no blanket way for me to be like, hey, anyone I've ever done this to, I didn't mean it. Like it was me trying to be funny or me just having a bad day. There's no way for me to be like, I'm sorry to these people, apart from an unban all, which would not work on my channel because I have tens of thousands of people who are
sounds like a horrible idea.
There are 9.
It's like Arkham Asylum, straight up. Like, literally the worst thing you could do.
Like I would say a lot of the people who are banned in my chat, like I was probably having a bad day when I was playing Overwatch, or just a bad day in general, and I fucking lashed out, banned these guys, and they're like, all right, fine, whatever, and then they just moved on, dude. You know, I always feel bad about that every time. No, even if they deserve it, I don't know.
When you say stuff like that has no place, you like, so just to give you sorry to put you on the spot. I'm usually not able to do this because I don't watch content from a lot of the people that I have deep dives with, but with you I can, so I'm going to. Like in the Boneworks thing, there was some dumbass box you had to open.
Yeah.
And then somebody like yelled at you about the box, and he said, "I can't open the box." You fucking dumbass. Then you flipped off the box and walked away. So that kind of thing you're okay with that, right?
Yes, that's an acceptable response.
Exactly.
But getting personal about it and like calling them like I bet you've never had sex with a woman, you stupid fucking idiot. Like I bet you haven't had a girlfriend in 10 years, you loser. Like I bet you work a shitty job and every day you have to wake up and go do your job for 8 hours and come home and then cry yourself to sleep. Like shit like that. Like I've gotten way too personal with people over the years. It is like it makes people feel uncomfortable, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And more than anything, I don't want people to feel uncomfortable. So I've definitely like I've been conscious about that like recently.
Where's the line for you? How are you?
That's the line. That's the line.
That's the line.
Like calling someone an idiot is okay, but like getting personal about it and be like, you're like a social reject, stupid bitch. Like just like if I spend more than 5 seconds making fun of somebody, it's probably crossed the line.
Okay. So. Mm-hmm. and I think it's pretty clear to most people now at this point that it's almost always like a joke.
Yeah. Well,
mm-hmm.
I couldn't, for the most part. I won't remember mean things that were said to me the next day, and because most of the time it doesn't fucking bother me, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But
yeah, I don't even like. A lot of people come back and chat, and they'll be like, "Oh, dude, I'm so sorry about that interaction." Yeah, I'll be like, I don't even know who you are.
It's always shit that I say that I will remember the person I said that to, and then I feel bad about it. So.
Okay.
One strategy that I do, is I'll wait until the peak of my stream to be like, hey, if this guy's in chat or like X or Y or whatever, like, sorry, I didn't mean it. I hope you weren't offended. And like a lot of times they are actually there. They'll be like, it's okay, dude. Like,
oh shit.
It's not a big deal. ATC.
I got to take a leak. Do you think that I know it's kind of a big ask, but do you think you can handle chat? I know. I'm not sure if I can trust you with it because I know you haven't had a stream of this magnitude before. But yeah, just in case you can. I'll be back in like 2 seconds. Hold on.
They're posting Nam. This is fun. Hey, chat. You guys think you're funny posting that emote in this chat that I can't moderate you in, you stupid assholes? Huh? You stupid little bitch! Stupid little cunt! That's so crazy that the Devin grew up playing muds like me. That's such a weird fucking niche thing, dude. I wouldn't change it for the world though. Dude, I gotta sneeze, but it's not coming. I got a gift sub. Thank you. I forgot to subscribe. I also forgot to follow before today. I've definitely watched Devin's stream, but it's always been on my TV. Also, there's a guy in chat named Finally Mo. Make sure you guys add him and call him a stupid little bitch. Hang on. Let's check your Twitch channel, you stupid little bitch. Got any good clips? No, because you're a loser. A little bitch. No, I'm just kidding. You're all right. He's all right. He's all right. He's okay. He's not here. 5 second roll. I stopped. All right, we're good. It was a joke. Let's check some of his chat logs. I gotta hurry up before Devin gets back. Hang on. Dude, I don't know what website's good for checking logs now. I don't know. Oh my God, someone posted it. All right, here's what he said. It was in my Discord. It said, I fucked my sister, lil W. I fucked my sister, lil W. Repeating 7 times. And then he posted on his 8th post 7777777. Moxie signal, try hard, red exclamation point, searching for homies, not homies. Repeating at least 5 times. New Adept, Kappa Pride, New Adept. Like, this is like the new age of Twitch. This is what we got to deal with. It's not even funny, dude. It's not even good.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
What happened?
I was making fun of one guy in chat, but I did exactly what I said I didn't want to do.
Good shit.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Look, man. Hey, look, if you're getting bullied at school, dude, listen, man.
Builds character.
Build character, but also I'm sorry, so you're at least you're not getting bullied online. You're only getting bullied in person.
He's this is basically just like Jedi training for all of you to become better versions of yourself. Moon is dad. That's all it is, dude. Okay, so here's when I said like I want to go like back to something that's like there's a sort of. And here's like the mystery of Moon, okay? There's a sort of deliberate underlying deliberate is a really big I want to hold on to that word. There's a sort of deliberateness. Is that a word?
I don't think so.
Well, it is now.
I know what you mean.
Good. Okay. The only purpose of communication is the means of which we understand it. So we're fine. So there's a deliberateness to the there's a method to your madness, right? There's an these small things that we're bringing up sort of cultivate into what like I think like the difference. And so what I'm saying is like do you have like an introspective process to how you look at your stream, compare it across to other streams, because you said that you spend a lot of time investigating.
Oh,
yeah, and like what is that process? Like is it iterative? Do you write shit down? Like how does this work?
So semi aside, I noticed, dude, listen, okay, let me preface this by saying I met him in 2017 at BlizzCon, and I think he is one of the best streamers on Twitch. XQC.
Yeah, I agree.
I love you. He knows that I love him. However, what the fuck is up with I have encountered at least 4 other people whose routine shtick is impersonating XQC, like his mannerisms, his speech, like just like God, I don't know whose stream I tuned into literally like 2 days ago, but there was a guy doing a full-on XQC impression, like unironically in like someone else's Overwatch group or whatever, dude. Like fucking I don't know. That's the current meta though, dude. Like there's so like it's like this weird uncontrollable like chaotic TikTok mass that is just completely just fucking made its way into Twitch. And my method is very simple, is to provide a refuge from that. And whatever that may be, it's not XQC's fault for having these people, like not people, like kids, just fucking, come in and do X or Y or whatever. But
can we okay, this is cool. I'm glad we're here. You've said this before, but you've never defined it.
Okay, so let me add on to that.
Okay.
The reason I say this is because he is the number 1 streamer on Twitch.
Yes, he is.
But for in multiple ways. So that is meta that's meta defining in multiple ways.
Yes.
And it unavoidably so. For better or for worse. Go on. I'm sorry.
No. Okay, so that was what I'm saying is you've always said that you want to provide like a refuge from that, but what's that?
And listen, most people will automatically assume like that is like Twitch chat meta, right? But I consider Twitch chat meta a little bit different from the general feel of these streams of the impersonators or of the current king of Twitch. Or just somebody spamming a brain dead multiplayer game every day they pop onto their fucking stream or whatever. What I provide that is different, I think, is constant engagement, be it online or offline, in a low stress, for the most part, environment. But even then, I can't even really quantify it. I try to look for games that are interesting to people because ultimately that's what it is. I love video games and I love streaming video games, and I try to pick interesting games for my stream. I try to that's the thing that I focus on the most. I feel like apart from
Ooh, okay, I'm ready.
like
Yeah.
like offline like Discord talking. Like I love doing that shit. Like
Do you do that a lot?
yeah, dude. Every
Mhm.
night I try to do it a little bit.
I have a Discord server. It's not like yours, but it's about 8,000 people, and I'm the person that talks the most in it. Like there's a leaderboard, and I have the most. Yeah, and I'm
not
really
me.
happy with that. Well, but that's because you it's impossible at your size. There's some guy that's on there fucking 24/7 that's like in every single chat channel and is like the guy, right? Like there's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wish there was there's not really an answer I could give about that question that would make me not sound like a dick or like a self-absorbed asshole.
Well, I
feel
think
like.
that's fine with me. Because here's the thing, right? Is like I think that maybe I could do it. Like maybe I could help. Like there, you define Twitch by like a certain series of metas. I think.
Yeah,
yeah.
No,
the
here's
Reacts meta.
The current meta
Mhm.
is the XQC React TikTok meta, dude.
Yeah,
That's what it is, and I guarantee that all the other streamers that surround this guy in Twitch right now, like be it like Greek God or a Trainwrecks,
Yeah.
or whatever, it's all the same pool. They're all sitting in the same fucking wave pool. But when then Chunky XQC decides to wake up and then stream, fucking jumps into the kiddie pool, and then all of the other people that had been floating around in it like are all of a sudden without any water to wade around in.
Yeah, I mean, but you have hovered into that territory. Like at one point on Classic, like you went hard down that route. Dude. We were watching fucking Bug Wars and goddamn like Doomer whatever preparation. People.
I think I have done a good enough job of establishing my stream before that point that I didn't have to deal with people who were coming to my channel after I stopped playing Classic WoW who were like, where's the videos? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Or at least not that I can recall.
No, you did. I don't think you had any.
So it was like a seamless transition, and the videos were as much for me as they were for Twitch chat, and because man, there are a lot of aspects of Classic WoW, especially that are fucking grindy. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Those were definitely hardcore React streams for me. Like, but they were more YouTube than WoW for me. But I still wanted to play WoW. It was a weird, like, I always compared it to like when I would play WoW when I was a kid. I'd have a TV right next to me. I always had the TV going.
Yeah,
and I was always looking at the TV, dude. So it was basically kind of the same thing. But it's not like a straight up traditional React stream in that sense though, because my community was pretty cognizant of not identifying as a React community.
Well, one of the things that makes you unique is you can often make games that are otherwise unwatchable watchable. Like you are literally one of the only people on the platform, like Civilization.
Civ, man, dude, I
Might and Magic.
Oh, Might and Magic.
Yeah.
Those are classic games.
These are not games that can but like okay, so there are streamers that regularly get like 10K viewers that will stream Civilization to 500 people. Okay, like just straight up, like okay, like those people will just leave. But you're like, and like when I prefaced this conversation and I said that your stream works in a very unique way, I meant that very deliberately because there are, me as like the fucking analytics Andy guy, but there are things that you do. This is yet another one of them that like no one else can do. One of them is you can hold a consistent audience across any game you play. I am convinced you could play.
Feels good.
You could play fucking Doki Doki Adventure shit. I don't know. Like
I have played that.
Okay.
And it was an excellent stream.
Yeah. You could play anything and you could maintain an audience. That is absurdly rare.
See, that used to be something that was impressive, but now you got people like XQC who can technically do that for whatever game they want, no matter how loud his chat is screeching for him to stop.
We say people like XQC, but let's really think of who can do that. It's like Soda, XQC, and you. It's not that big. It's a really, really small number of people that can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Forsen, maybe. No, Lyric can't. He stays to FPS for a reason. He loses a ton of audience if he goes to like.
But he does Sub Sunday and he gets a lot of viewers.
That's true, but that's like a themed event. Like if he regularly did like strategy games and stuff like that, like he would. I think he would probably lose viewers. I don't know. Though. Yeah, because he doesn't do it. So.
Forson's viewers are kind of aggressive about just straight up not watching him play games that he was interested in playing. I remember because I've actually had the chance to watch Forson stream more so than in past years because I changed my schedule kind of recently.
Right.
And before I was streaming at the same time as him, but now I'm not. And if I wake up early enough, I can catch a stream. And 2 days ago, he was playing Warcraft 3 custom games, which I love to watch. And it was like 6K viewers 2 days ago. Today it was 10K. So it's fucking. I don't know what he maybe ended his stream with, but seems almost random sometimes.
Why did you change your schedule? You streamed 10 hours every day consistently. I suspect this answer isn't philosophical. It's just like I'm fucking over it, right? Like,
no, I changed my schedule for personal reasons I can't say on stream.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Like, that's totally fine. So going back to this thing, that's like,
I'll tell you in Discord.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Hang on. Oh, okay. Yeah. Got it. Interesting. Okay. That's a good reason. Yeah. Okay. I feel like the things that make like okay, so one of my favorite streams from you, like ever, right?
Yeah.
Was Baldi.
Dude, I love that game. I wish I had an excuse to go back and play that game because it was so fucking.
But you can't.
No, I can't.
Yeah. It's like the moment has passed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that sort of like embodies. There are so many streamers that would go on that game.
You're getting botted right now.
What does that mean?
There's a chat bot advertising a fucking.
Oh, that's
some dumb shit.
I love bots, dude. That's super cool.
The only time I've ever gone sub only mode is for shit like this, dude.
2 minutes. So we just do like follower mode, right?
Do like 2 day or 1 day. No, wait.
What? I just did 2 minutes, and it should be fine.
Okay.
Right.
All right. I mean, in 2 minutes it might not be fine.
Okay, well, we'll see in 2 minutes. Yeah. There's Oh, that's another fucking question. Is how do you handle moderators? Fuck.
Okay, so I have a special technique for choosing my Twitch chat moderators.
Okay.
And that is and actually it's funny that you brought up Baldi because I completely clicked with one of my moderators' plea during this one point because I had this kid in my Twitch chat who was spamming like XQC emotes or some shit, I forget. It was late night. I was pissed off because I was losing. And I said to Plea, who was already a mod, I said, hey, if you can pick the person in Twitch chat that I want permanently banned right the fuck now, I will give you $100. And he did. He banned the guy in 5 seconds, exactly without any other hints. The guy got banned. I gave him his money. Boom, bop, boom. It was done. And basically, I choose people who I like. I've never had beyond like when I first started my stream, I modded a couple of people that I would consider not good for my like community in general.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I like to pick low impact, like Twitch moderators who don't mod spam. Never mod spam. I fucking hate mod spam. That
same.
Or just kind of like that, like watching the stream or like tuning in or whatever. Like I don't know. I have a knack for like I got a couple of people like three mods that I picked recently that I I guess recently in quotes that I know are good. And one I remember I picked a mod of mine called Avatar when I was playing Overwatch that like God, I can't remember why I did it, but I was just like this guy. I personally asked him via Discord DM because he was giving me information, like he was assembling spreadsheets for me. He was just doing like all this weird, like extra stuff that was like helpful to me, but that I didn't want to have to worry about doing. That was also not disruptive to my normal streaming like schedule or whatever. And I was like, hey man, do you want to be a mod? And he was like, yeah. And then he made my subreddit, which is never used. That's fine. but he answers comments on Reddit for me that are always true or accurate. Whenever I saw him helping people in Twitch chat, it was always like straight up informative, not weird, like not overly formal, and it's just like a certain vibe, dude. It feels like a speakeasy or like a club, dude.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I feel that. Like the way that I describe it is like, I want my moderators to be my perfect chatters. Like, yeah, like that's the person that I like, and that's also the same type of theory as like, low impact, like people that don't like spam like crazy and like unless they had the sword, you would never be able to tell that they're a mod. Right?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, like they're not people that are like, hey, like I've got a giant swinging dick and I'm about to swing it across this room. Like, yeah.
I would qualify a lot of small streamer like not growing to having like a weird mod
really
focused chat.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because people come in and then like they got this hardcore weird internet click going on, dude. No one wants to be a part of that fucking shit, dude. Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, like nobody's actually allowed to like express themselves, and like I think that's particularly bad in a lot of these smaller girl streamers that I interact with. Dude, they have that kind of thing. Yeah.
One of my earliest streaming stances, I guess, or like a controversial, not even really. I mean, I guess it would be controversial nowadays. But I always said that the chicks had a harder time getting like an actual reliable community going on Twitch.
Oh yeah, well, this is substantiated by data, by the way. Yeah.
I believe it. I believe it. And
I did a huge video about this. I'm just like excited about this, but
no,
like, yeah,
you're right. You're absolutely.
And you know how much shit. This is one of my most, Moon. This is one of my most disliked to liked ratio videos of all time
because it's 2020. But like,
it was literally like I went through and I actually provided like the actual studies. Like here, if you pull up this video, I'm just like on my stream. Look at the difference on the left between the most common words that are said in a girl's chat versus the most common words that are said in a male's chat. Then tell me seriously that it's not fucking impossible for a girl streamer to fucking maintain on this platform. Like literally, it's like Franker Z, and then it's just like tits, boobs, like fuck. Oh my god,
that's like a byproduct of just internet culture, though. Like it's slowly getting better, but I mean, it was super like bad when I was playing MUDs in 2005, 2006. It was a huge deal when there was an actual woman playing the game.
Yeah.
So they were easily identifiable from like far. Like they were
like from far.
Confirmed, shining, like whatever.
My glorious goddess is here.
Like it's carried on to the future. But I think the problem that the chicks, at least they used to face a lot, was they get infiltrated by creeps, man.
Yes.
And those creeps masquerade, and I even had creeps like that.
Yeah.
They weren't women.
Because you're big enough.
It wasn't like a sexual thing either. But like for these guys, a lot of time it is sexual things for these chicks. But like I had people that like tried to hijack my Discord in a way to like make it like a cult of personality about like these like a couple of moderators that are no longer with me. And like people like that, dude, like it's just fucking like they try to click like CLIQUE, and it is completely just like gross for everybody except like the 5 or 10 people that are like in on it, dude.
I think it's a concept of and this is something it's funny we talk about this because I noticed this from Hot Chubby not even like 2 days ago, is like there's this and like to be clear, like we've said this before, but like most people are cool, right? Like we're still talking about the 50.
We're talking about the minority.
Yeah, but like there's these people that have this like sense of ownership of her, right? So like when we're going somewhere, they're like a good example was like she accidentally leaked that she's thinking of moving to Los Angeles. To do these collabs, and there were all these people. They always type in full sentences because you remember that shit from like back in the day. They always have to like. They always has to be like, "Hello, good sir." Like,
hello, comma,
pretty,
milady.
Yeah, like it's always the fucking full sentences.
Devin knows, dude. Devin knows because he fucking played MUDs, man.
Yep.
Like this shit triggers me hardcore. Dude.
Yep,
They're always neck beards. They're always the 100%. Worst fucking human beings, dude.
Yeah, I always do that. And so like they'll type like all periods, they'll be like, I don't believe that Hot Chubby should leave Korea. I think that's the core of her audience, and that to leave would be disingenuous to her brand. And I worry for what will happen to her stream. It's like shut up, bitch.
Says a 34-year-old moderator living in Nebraska in his parents' house.
Like you don't own this person, right? Yeah. Like this is not a thing that you have to possess. This is not like a trophy of yours, right? And I feel like these moderators, they're insidious because they sneak themselves into the communities of women in that way.
Yes.
Yeah, because they promise so much help and they want to be so on board, and the girl thinks like, oh, like this guy really wants to help me, and it's like, fuck no, like this person wants to own you.
Yep.
Yeah. And
it doesn't just happen to women, but that's like the number one streamer tip I used to give during Overwatch, because people recognize that I got popular really fast, and they're always asking me for streaming advice. It doesn't really happen much anymore, but that was always the one thing that I would warn people. I was like, make sure you don't have any overzealous, weird, creepy ass mods that and make sure that your community isn't clicking, dude. Group clicking. Because it's all like that. That's like the foundation. If you slip up and mod like 4 or 5 people, and then like you got 10 viewers, dude, like
you're fucked.
You've already killed your stream.
Nobody will feel like they can. Yeah, I don't think we modded. Andy could tell me if you're in chat. Like, I don't think we modded someone until like 400 or 500 viewers, right?
Yeah, no, that's like the perfect ratio, dude.
Yeah. And it's like, and then people are like, well, how do you keep up with the chat? Like, right? Like, it's like, it's so easy to do. Like, if like 400 or 500 people is not a big deal.
Nope.
Yeah. It's like, if you can't handle that,
that's like another old school, like weird Twitch thing, is to like place this overemphasis on like the necessity of mods too. They're like, I pay my mods. I got a hardcore mod team.
Yeah.
And
like SEAL Team 6 shit. Like
for us, I think we probably read faster than the average person just because of our hobby growing up.
Yeah.
Yep. But like even then, you have to be an actual like tiny brain to not be able to keep up with your Twitch chat.
Do you remember combat spam in MUDs in RPS? And like in big unit spam, and like you'd have to pick out the damage because you're like, holy fuck, like if I'm getting attacked by Did your MUD have stacking units where like there were like
dude,
like 50 NPCs?
We can talk about this after the podcast, but it was even worse than that. It was
shit. Okay.
I will tell you the hurdle that made me a fast reader.
Yeah, because that was what did it for me. Is like I would have a character in like a 40 or 50 person fight, and there's like, and we're in one room, so it's just spamming down, and I'm looking for like viciously hits you, right? Like I'm looking for that kind of like thing in like the same color text.
Yeah.
And if I see that and I look at like my I look at my damage, I'm like I'm noping the fuck out, like get out, right? Like yeah, interesting. Yeah, because I never even thought about how that connects too.
Your game, I have actually played a little bit, and that it is not user friendly in that way.
It prides itself on that. Yeah.
And I on one hand I like it, but like there should be at least some tools in that kind of environment to allow you to defend, or at least see your own status in a sea of people like readily, but it does. I'm pretty confident it doesn't even do that.
Yeah, they love it. I mean, their justification is like, well, in a real battle, you wouldn't have those tools, you know, like, and it's like, I think
in a real battle, you would know if your fucking wrist were slit by somebody's sword that you're bleeding to death. Like,
yeah, I would think so. Like, it's always some kind of like realistic like thing like that. Like, it's always some realism argument. Yeah.
All right, next point.
Yeah, I agree on the moderator thing. I think that's like super true. One of the other things that I'm really interested in is like, why do you not have any external media? And this is a place where I might get on your ass about this because I think this is wrong.
Okay, so it is wrong. No, it is.
Okay.
It is wrong. And
that was easier than I thought.
There's no mastermind reason why I don't do it. It's laziness. My YouTube channel was always fun to do, and it wasn't necessarily big at any point. It was more a repository of all of my editor's favorite moments that were put onto my YouTube page. And it was useful for chronicling the history of my stream, which I think is important, which is why my sub alerts are a chronicling of the history of my stream, because they represent like, it'll be Overwatch stuff up until like month 24,
Mhm.
and then it becomes like fan art, shit like that. Instagram, I don't think I really have a place on Instagram, even like from raw numerage. Yes, probably I do have a place on Instagram, but I don't use Instagram personally.
Well, YouTube seems to be the logical extension
Yeah,
because
I've been thinking about restarting my YouTube. My editor got an actual job. Congratulations. He graduated college and then got an actual job. But I've just been too lazy to sit down and like review people's editing styles and to get YouTube videos out.
okay.
Twitter I've actually been starting to try to do recently.
Yeah.
Except for the VR streams that I've been doing the last week and a half, because it's just too many extra steps, and I already have to take time at the beginning of my stream to set up my my VR headset, so I've just been skipping it. And for MGS2, because I just wanted to play the game. So I basically just booted my stream up, sat there, drank my coffee, announced my stream to my Discord, and then just played MGS for 8 hours. And that was basically like that's my ideal stream, because I just sit there, I fucking like that. Even today, I don't. On my days off, I'm playing video games. On my days on, I'm playing video games. Like, I am a video game addict in every single way. Still,
yeah, I love it. Me too.
I will always find a game to play. Fuck all this bullshit about like React streamers being like, "Oh, there's no good games out right now. There's no good games out right now."
Trying. Yeah,
they're not. They're not. They're either not trying, or they don't just are not addicted to video games. Like,
yeah,
me.
They don't truly love it. Yeah,
and that I'm not trying to imply that that's good or bad. I'm just saying that's how it is. That's why I've never fallen into like that rut, dude. It's just because I'm always into it all the time. I love it.
Why is it that like you're aware that your mindset on this, I guess, like if Twitch implodes, and I know it's like a really big if, right?
Yeah.
But you're not exactly like a fart in the wind like some people would be, but you have a way that you look at your brand in general, and this also ties into one of the other things that we'll probably get to, which is like you not taking sponsors and stuff. But it's like this way that you look at your brand, which is kind of like, first of all, I absolutely love the no webcam thing. I know people get butt mad at this, but I hope you do it forever. I think it's fantastic. I think it adds a lot to the stream.
I think it depends on. There was a time where I was 100%. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of games that I think would benefit from webcam, and that literally the only reason I don't use webcam right now is because I don't have one.
That can't be right. That's not true.
No, seriously, I don't. I don't have one. I was actually considering last night going to Walmart and getting a webcam for this, because I wasn't sure how you were going to set up your stream. And I didn't know if you needed a webcam, so I was literally just gonna fucking pop on webcam for the stream.
Oh shit, that would have been cool, but I don't care.
It's like a phases of the moon thing, dude. Like sometimes, like when I was playing Apex, like for like 6-8 months or whatever, I was using webcam every day.
I remember.
It's not like a personal image thing. It's not like whatever. It's just a comfort thing right now, man. Like I don't feel like doing it, so I'm not doing it. It's not necessarily there's not any science behind it for me.
So it's also fuck, this is really hard to describe, and I actually like thought about this a while, and I guess I'm no better at doing it than I was in my prep, but like it's this certain mentality or mindset around your stream that it's like it's ephemeral. So what I mean by that is like when you stop your streams is kind of a good example. You're like, I'm done. Bye. And then that's the end of it, right? Like it's not like this whole like, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for all my subs, guys. I'm really grateful for everything. Like tomorrow we'll be doing that. It's just like
I used to do that.
Done.
You may have not. Yeah. You may not have watched my stream, but I actually did do that for like 2016 to 2017. I do an outro every stream. I'd put music on and I'd sing to my chat, and then I'd end my stream.
So what went from that to like, okay, guys, I'm gonna go jerk off and then end the stream?
General fatigue, and I think my lifestyle caught up with me, because especially when I was living in Charlotte, less so nowadays, but I was eating out at least twice a day.
Oh shit.
And it wasn't like the food wasn't like straight up like fast food or anything, but like it was like opulent, like, you know, just fucking stuffing my face, streaming, and then just being like tired, and then So I just stopped doing it just because I was being fucking lazy about it.
So there's no method to that. It's just you're just
No.
interesting. Okay, so you're just like, fuck it.
I like to change things, even if it doesn't seem necessarily like a big thing to change. I think that's a personal preference thing for me. I don't know. I was thinking about establishing voting for the. I don't know if I should say it because I don't want to spoil it.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
But yeah, I'm always thinking about like one or two things that I could do differently,
Mm-hmm.
And then to do them for a little bit, and then I just move on, basically, whatever it may be.
Cool. Okay, so like, because we're the reason we're going back into this, like, because somebody just typed actually like what are my thoughts are on this is like Moon unironically fucking this chat is insane. I can't even read this shit. Moon unironically just stumbles onto the best ways to do shit, and he's lucky as fuck, and that's why we love him. That's dumb as fuck. There's absolutely we could try harder. Like there's absolutely a reason this stuff is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to toot my own horn, and
we'll
I know the guy in chat said that he doesn't mean any malice by what he said.
I know, I didn't mean anything bad. Sorry, I wasn't doing like that thing that we were talking about doing. Sorry, dude in chat. I'm cool with you. Like I just disagree. Yeah,
but I'm trying to I spend time. The amount of time I spend on Twitch is like my waking moments, except for like 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. It's either because I'm doing this or I'm watching Twitch. It's still a rare occasion in which I am not digesting or producing on Twitch.
Okay, but there's something that has to be there because you could be watching Twitch and learning nothing. So you must have some kind of internal or iterative process of some kind that's like actually comparing across. You see what I'm saying?
What I do is I think about what I personally would enjoy from this person's stream or what they're doing wrong.
There it is.
And what I think it is I try to think about what I as the viewer am not enjoying, and then I try not to do that on my stream. It's basically and it's a quiet process. I'm not like quantifying anything perfect. Like sometimes it might be like I would never play this game, or I would never collaborate with this person, or blah blah blah, whatever. And it's just like a long list of like intuitions that help me make the show that I want to do, which is completely like a game that I want to play, with a Twitch chat that I want to see, with a Discord that I like to be in that makes me laugh every night still. And it's the perfect storm. And I'm super glad that I had enough momentum to be introduced to the people who are willing to even as much as post a stupid fucking webum in my Discord, dude. Like that shit gets me every time. I was thinking about it last night. There's a guy who always has the best fucking webums, is just posting them in rapid succession. I've never seen him, and like he posts them and then we'll wait like almost the exact duration of the video and then post a new one. And I'm just sitting there for fucking half an hour just clicking on this guy's webums, dude, fucking laughing to myself.
I have that great. But for like researchers, so there will be people that come into my chat and build or come into the Discord, and they literally make like a fucking spreadsheet of exactly like Twitch growth over the course of an entire year. And I'm like, that gets, I know you like, you're like funny videos. Like that's my full chub, dude. Like that's how I get it up. Like when I see a fucking Excel spreadsheet, that's like, this is exactly how Twitch is operated, these streamers and things like that. This is a bot. Someone made a bot the other day that tracks the subs and my resubs and my Prime subs and my gift subs. And I was like, that's so sexy. Like I love that shit, dude. So I get that feeling of those people that like can contribute in that way.
Yeah. No, dude, it still blows my mind, and I value shit posters and Twitch chat so fucking highly, dude. Like because recently, for whatever reason, I've been reflecting on like how insane it is that there are people who are like dedicated shit posters that I see in other chat rooms that are shit posting nonstop all the time. And whatever these people are doing in their real life or whatever, like, I hope it goes well for you, but thank you for fucking shitting in my Twitch chat, because it makes my experience with Twitch so much better that I'm able to hop on and see someone typing some really stupid shit that gets me going, and then to like laugh about it. It's awesome. It's fucking. It's so bizarre too because they get nothing from it.
Yeah.
Right. At least monetarily. They're plebs. They don't subscribe to me. They're just fucking
neighbors Wi-Fi type shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like they're just fucking doing it, dude. They're just doing it.
Yeah.
Man.
They're living their most authentic self.
Yeah.
Every day. It's interesting that like you cultivate, like you love the emote spam. You love the like that's it's like a tempo that keeps you going, or like what is it?
I don't really like I know a lot of the React streamers get they're like, Chad, are you dead? Come on. Like, you know, like that's something that they'll do. Like it doesn't even fucking bother me like how fast my Twitch chat's moving at any point. I play off of I think the main flowchart for my stream is that something happens in whatever game I'm playing, and then I'll react to it, and then they'll post emote spam, and that makes me feel good. And it's just like rinse and repeat, basically. Very simple. Not necessarily specialized in any way.
Why don't you do any kind of like talks like this or interviews or collabs or anything?
So I've done one other time in 2017, I think, with a small Overwatch podcast, and that I talked about this in brief. I never gone this deep, and I don't do it because people don't ask me. So that my stream, despite all of its success, despite its overwhelmingly powerful community, I don't have people contact me like that. They don't come to me. They don't like I'm not considered even on the same stage as people that I've been competing with and have been routinely performing better than.
That's true. Yes.
For years. For years. They completely just don't look at me, dude. And for better or for worse, that is the case, and it's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not, no. But it's interesting to me. The last collab I remember you did was I remember you were in a physical location casting something.
I was
Blizzard something maybe.
I was at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
And to pay homage to the game that made my channel, I let them have my face reveal. I did my face reveal on their on their at their BlizzCon stream in tandem with one of their hero reveals.
I think one of the things, just to give you some feedback on that collab thing, for me, this was like, I basically treated this as like, you played the game, fucking Ghouls and Ghosts. What can I fucking think of the name?
Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yeah, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Yeah. So you know how that's like a progressive like leveling experience. How you have to like, or Castlevania, like where you have to like get to. These are like some of my favorite games. You have to like get to the point where you're strong enough to do something. That's basically how I felt before I asked you. So like I was like asking like other streamers and doing other deep dives, and then you were like the final boss. I was like, okay, if like this is gonna be like, I need to have all my equipment. I need to have all my shit. Like this. Yeah.
I feel like I should have given you a harder time.
Well, you did. You skipped a fucking show. So
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
So it was because what happened on Wednesday was I actually legitimately was like, he doesn't want to. Like he doesn't really want to talk to me. Yeah. Like,
no.
Yeah, I know that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
And I don't have any like because you're here now, and I'm really grateful. But I'm just saying, like, I'm a simp in that sense, right? Because I'm a very big fan of yours as well, which is uncommon to the people that I mostly do deep dives with. I don't have that kind of. There's really two people in the industry that I feel that way about. One of them is you, and one of them is Day 9.
Dude, I met Day. Did I ever tell you my Day 9 story? Have you heard my Day 9 story? I went to TI7 in Seattle. And I got invited by one of my favorite Dota players of all time, Peter Pandem, who no, it was No Tail, actually. It was No Tail. Invited me to an after party after TI, and that's usually the party that the Dota players are trying to basically, because after every TI there's a roster shuffle, and literally every Dota player was at this party, and I can't remember where in Seattle it was. It was a museum of some sort. Like it was like modern art almost. I don't fucking remember. It was okay. It was okay. I actually saw a giant waffle standing outside of this party
shit.
too.
Okay.
It just randomly. But I went upstairs to the bar, and Day9 has a line of people.
Yeah,
that are meeting. They're all older people because Day9's an older streamer, and that's just the way that it worked out. And I remember I was last in line, and I introduced myself. He didn't know who I was, and I looked at him, and he looked like he was a combination of tired and drunk and like exhausted. He looked like his
all
eyes.
Those things are definitely true.
Dude, he was like his eyes were rolling in the back of his fucking head. He looked sweaty, and I shook his hand, and I was like, I love you. I love your show. Can I get a selfie? I got a selfie with him, and then like I let him go because I was like, this guy doesn't want to talk to me, dude. He probably just wants to go sit down or some shit.
I have a similar Day9 story. Okay, so when I met Day9, I was on Team Dignitas because I started in esports, and I ran the North American division of Dignitas. Then I ran a company called Counterlogic Gaming, and in Dignitas, I went to BlizzCon.
Wait,
and, yeah.
did you? Was Lassus on Dignitas? I think he was.
Maybe not
Smite.
During my time. No, Smite was after my time because I ran it from 2013 to 2015.
That would have been the time that he. Oh, actually, no. I think it was a little bit.
It was
after
just
that.
After. Yeah, but I do know him. Yeah.
Yeah,
and we talked back and forth. Yeah,
dude. I random aside. I'm actually gonna. I want to collab with Lassus to play Smite.
Fuck yeah.
And because I played a lot of Smite, and I was pretty good at it, and I want to get drunk, and I want to at least one stream play Smite with Lassus.
He's an amazing streamer. Yeah, that's it. He's just like super consistent and just like super wholesome. Yeah. So I went to BlizzCon, and I actually met Day9's mom, who's like really prolific within Blizzard.
Yeah, she worked at Blizzard. Yep.
Yeah, and so she took me backstage, and like there was Day9 and his brother, right? Like
who's Tasteless is his brother, right?
It's Nick.
Yeah. They're
Tasteless.
That's his brother though, right? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tasteless is his brother. Artosis is like Nick's like co-caster. So I got this picture, and you can kind of like see like how fucking happy I am. Like this is like this on my Instagram.
Look,
like
Day9's trying so hard not to fall asleep on his feet.
Yeah, I know, because he's probably so busy. But okay, so here's the end of this story. It's like so wholesome. So I had the same feeling as you. I'm like, this guy probably doesn't give a shit. He's probably like super tired, doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
After the event was over that day, we were at, you know how Twitch parties had those like bowling alleys they would rent out?
Yeah.
We were at one of them, and Day9, drunk as fuck, he doesn't remember this, came over and is like, hey, Devin, remembered my name, was like, do you want to bowl? And then I was just bowling with Day9, and I'm like, I'm living my best life. This is fucking awesome. Like, this is so crazy. Like, and we did. Like, we just like, he doesn't remember it. He was so fucking drunk, he doesn't remember that it's ever happened. Because I told him later, I'm like, do you remember that you bowled with me? And he's like, no. And I'm like, I was like, cool. Like, dude, well, it meant a lot to me at the time. So, and that's like my Day9 story. But it's funny how like, you know, like I end up interacting with a lot of like really big influencers and things like that. But it's like only a few people, I guess, because of just the. Well, for both of you, it's the same reason. It's the way that you run your broadcast. It's so, I think, like interesting.
Yeah. No, I'm a bit of a contrarian. I like to do things that are different, simply because they're different a lot of the time.
Yeah. Another like really weird one here is you don't do any sponsor activations.
Yeah. I don't. So that's born from. I was pretty DIY growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
As a teenager. And as a result, I had a very strong aversion to just companies and corporations and stuff, which is a bit ironic because we're basically working
slaves
for Amazon.
Yeah.
But I mean, even still, that's no excuse to not make my space as clean as it could be, I guess. And I feel like as time has gone on, I've gotten a bit less heavy-handed about judging people for taking them, but I still maintain that the example it sets for huge streamers that are making like, I think Soda Poppin is a good example here for like someone I might give a pass for taking sponsorship. And once again, it doesn't fucking matter if I give this guy a pass. He doesn't give a fuck about my opinion. This is how I feel, for better or for worse, right or wrong. Like, he just took a long ass break. He probably has like 2,000 Twitch subscribers, despite having an average viewer base of like 20,000. Mm-hmm. You know, it makes sense for someone like that to take sponsorships, but somebody who is routinely streaming every day, has a regular schedule, a huge subscriber base, and then is also doing sponsored streams on top of that, it feels not fair to those people that I was talking about earlier, the shit posters, the ones who are regularly enhancing your stream by gracing you with their presence, the people who make it so that you are able to leverage yourself in numerical form to people who are willing, for whatever fucking reason, to give you large amounts of money to play their shit for an hour or two, I feel is blatant disrespect, and it sets a bad example for the future, in that one day, if unchecked, if it's going to be like a fucking mass of 10, 20 people with 20,000 viewers shilling out for half of their fucking stream every day, like, and like it's like they're going into work and putting their fucking punch card in and then just getting that money, which is fine. That's not even my issue with it. It's the fucking environment and the precedent that it sets, because then that sets an example for people who come to stream in the future who are like, oh, I got to do 4 hours of sponsored content and then 4 hours of regular content. No one likes sponsored content. Nobody is like, oh my God, my boy Soda Pop and doing another fucking EA sponsor. I can't wait to hop into that shit. No, dude. Like, the reason that our platform has gotten so good is because of the people who are willing to do creative stuff. Yeah. A bit like, and I can't even take credit for that, because what I do arguably is not creative. I just sit on my ass and I play video games. But there, the innovation, the people who, like Slasher, who were casting fucking games on Winamp radio stations, like, who built it up from the bottom, who were showing different aspects of like this community or whatever, working up toward being able to get money from these companies. Like, I don't know. Ultimately, it is a completely selfish thing for me to not approve of something like that, because I don't want to, in 5 years, because my video game addiction has been a lifelong thing. And I guarantee that if Twitch is still a website, I will still be watching. I will still be streaming. I don't want to turn it on and see that fucking desolate wasteland of fucking, like, even the ironic, haha, lol, I'm doing a sponsor right now. You know, I totally can't say anything bad about it, but I'm playing it right now. Yeah. Like, even that shit. I don't want to turn my shit on and have to choose between 10 to 20 motherfuckers who are all doing the same joke like that, or who are just slogging through a shitty fucking sponsorship, dude. So ultimately, it's selfish for me, especially nowadays, to not want to have that be the norm. But unfortunately, that is an unavoidable future that even somebody with my platform cannot stop, because it is something that is pervading every internet platform, and it has been for years.
Okay, hold on.
The fucking sponsorship deals, fucking YouTube, it's just not like it. It was only inevitable that it's only inevitable that it will eventually become a main like component of streams, and that is the darkest timeline for me.
So a lot on this, right? So one, I am that evil person, right? I am the agency selling these sponsorships.
Well, on my other, what's the average view count of the people that you're selling to?
In terms like of streamers,
like yeah, who do you manage?
Dan's Gaming, Giant Waffle ranges. So sometimes we have like 8,000 concurrent viewers. Sometimes we have 400. Like okay, also we do cross deals with Loaded and Adder also. So
the new generation of Twitch don't watch these people.
That's true.
They're not drawing their inspiration or their attitudes from these people.
Mm-hmm.
So they're amazing broadcasters. I watch Dan's Gaming, but that's not the example that's going to be taken. So, and once again, that's just how I feel,
Well, here's where I want to challenge it. Okay. So I don't think that the basis of the social media world is based off of sponsored activations. I think it's based off ads. And if you look at Google selling $15 billion of ads, and if you look at the 10% of their profit coming from YouTube in their last earnings report, right? What's happening on the internet is that it's a CPM-based system that's going to be defining our future, and not like sponsored activations will obviously be a part of it. I don't know if they'll be a part of it to the extent that like it'll take over the platform. Usually what happens to social media platforms is they start off really fucking cool, and then all the marketers like me come in and fuck it all up because we want all the money. Yeah. And then people move, right? So like that's happened to MySpace, that's happened to Facebook to some extent now, and like it is happening to Instagram. So like, and I take great delight in destroying platforms and selling all of my shit, right? And I'm the problem. I totally acknowledge that. But there's an underlying thing here, which is like CPM based stuff, which is like if everything were healthy and were in its right realm, right, you would be able to make insane income like you can on YouTube if you ran ads. But you don't do that either.
No.
Okay, so
but the way that getting money from Twitch about ads works is they take a lot of money from ads, which I'm totally fine with.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Because that's the way Twitch chat, every time I say it, completely does not believe me, but that is the way that they make most of Twitch's money is through ads. Like XQC subscriber count is like a fucking drop in the bucket. Right. Compared to the amount of money that they
so
get
I'm saying that, so that's why I'm turning this as I'm saying, and this is like the big gotcha moment, right? If you really do support a healthy platform, you would run ads because you would acknowledge that is how Twitch as an ecosystem actually survives without this like sponsored activation bullshit, or without Twitch itself having to go sell that inventory and then put that stuff. Yeah, okay.
It's a selfish thing. For me, because I want the healthiest platform, but I also don't want to inconvenience my viewer.
So you don't want any ads ideally on a platform or as few as possible?
Yeah, ideally. But ads have been like a kind of a tumor on creative spaces for as long as television has existed.
Why do you feel like community support is sort of like a high, and I'm not like disagreeing, right? I'm just like curious about your thinking and your mindset, but like why do you feel like community support is sort of a higher ethical standard?
It's not necessarily because the Twitch that I love was born from community support. That's about it. The streamers that I watched were elevated by community support. And most of all, there's no contract that's being signed between me and somebody who decides to tip me $5, dude. Like there's no expectation that I need to adjust what it is I want to do in any way for X amount of time when somebody subscribes to me, which is different than taking an activation from EA to play Apex for 2 hours and not say that this game sucks dick, like shit like that.
Do you have any, if you were presented with like a product or service that you authentically related to that you really loved, would you do it?
Maybe in the future, but it would have to be, extremely light, and then what they'd have to provide would also have to be extremely convenient for people who watch my stream. Like right now I'm shopping around for a new PC because the processor that I have in my current PC is fucking garbage and I didn't do a good enough research about it. But like say there's a website of a fucking a mom and pop store assembling awesome computers that like they don't have the budget to advertise. You really like I might be like, hey, I got my computer built these guys, but like even then that's not even like an official activation.
Yeah, it's not like like you said. I guess the big thing you said, it's not a contract but between both of you, right?
Yeah,
like
but so I don't think dude, I don't like and this is just a stylistic preference, but I don't even like having a webcam on my screen just because it takes up screen space, and I don't like, I like knowing that if I were to scroll down on my page that I have a neat set of panels that is not interrupted by like a Raid Shadow Legends crypt like like superimposed crypt phase over the barbarian on Raid Shadow Legends or whatever.
Mhm.
Like I like it to be clean, for better or for worse. But I don't know. I don't think there is an activation that I could do that would be something that I think would benefit my stream.
Well, you have your info panel. It's so I can't help think about this because I'm one of the aforementioned shitty marketers. But like, you give an artist credit here,
Yeah,
and then I think a random person,
Yeah.
whoever this
no,
is.
oh,
Like-
it's actually fucked up. I gotta fix it. But no,
Yeah.
those are all artists.
Okay, and so do you know what this is worth? Like in terms of ad space?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I have a vague idea, and that's
Do you want me
why
to tell you?
sure.
It'd be $10,000 to $15,000 a month each.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a billboard, dude.
Yeah. So like, yeah.
So that's, and I understood that to a vague degree. I didn't have a specific number,
Mhm.
but and honestly, this doesn't really help these people. Really, they might get one or two people occasionally. When I first put these people up on my page, it helped
Mhm.
them a lot.
Mhm.
And it was my way of giving back to the artists that were first interested in my my stream. Cheeky is
Mhm.
actually she was a German artist that I first noticed on Twitter, who was speaking in complete straight up German and had tagged me in something, and it was like fan art, and I was like, this is awesome. So turns out she speaks English, and but I mean, being one of my artists at one point meant a lot of things.
Yeah.
Especially during the start of Overwatch, I asked my artists to not make Twitch chat emotes for anyone else.
Oh wow.
And-
Okay.
And it was a kind of an unofficial agreement, and they adhered to it because I told them that I would give them this space right here, and that I would talk about them, and that I would give them a special role in Discord, that I'd follow them on Twitter, and that I would retweet their stuff, which is an extremely valuable trade, especially at the time. But now it's basically worthless because no one is probably interacting with them from this right here. So
Well, 5% of the people that watch your stream will scroll down and look at the info section. So that's not insignificant when you consider, because a lot of people think that like, okay, you have, I don't know, between 12 and 15,000 concurrent viewers.
Yeah.
And so, but that's not a consistent 12 to 15,000 people, right? It's actually hundreds of thousands of people because of the churn of what's, especially on larger streams. What's happening is, like, you can see this by going into your dashboard and looking at unique views.
Hold on. Someone in chat asked a good question.
Yeah.
What good is exposure if you can't use it? So I specifically asked them not to make Overwatch streamers emotes. That was it. So they were
I see.
they were selling emotes to other streamers that were not Overwatch streamers.
Mhm.
But furthermore, I was paying them $80 per emote, straight up, and whatever art that they wanted to give me, I was also paying them for. So more often than not, I was probably also giving them more money than they would have gotten from random shitheads who were like, hey man, can you draw my OC for $20? I'm gonna penny pinch you every step of the way, blah blah blah. Like fucking artists have it hard, especially
Definitely. Mhm.
they used to like really really bad. So
Yeah, it's gotten a little bit better, but it's still like a lot of artists are really undercharged or just don't even charge for their work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like you're sort of like, I like want to like touch on the sponsorship thing still. Like you're basically, I guess, like doing a sort of Dark Knight thing where you don't you don't like the ideal of you think that your action that you're taking, which is I'm not going to do this, is like the biggest statement you can make. And it kind of is. Yeah.
One of the biggest ones.
Yeah.
I think the biggest statement that I can make as a streamer is that I try to give back as much as I can to the people who watch my stream.
What does that mean to you?
Literally giving them money for doing stuff.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Like,
Wait, how does that play out?
We did it in there. We're organizing the second one, and by we I mean people in my community are organizing a second game jam. But we had a game jam,
I remember. I watched that.
Yeah,
That was super cool.
I
The
get-
one
I
with
get-
like the stupid Hydra with the heads that
Yeah.
you were like a helicopter.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That was one of the games.
Yeah.
Or through art, or through videos that I asked to be made, or through I have people run D&D in my Discord.
Mhm.
Just whatever way I can give money back to the people who are invested in my stream is my main objective, because it does what I feel like what I do is not it doesn't I don't deserve to make as much money as I do. I know it sounds like weird and fucking like sappy and like totally self-righteous, but anyone could agree with that, because the constant refrain that I see from Twitch chat about the amount of money that I make whenever it is brought up in conversation or happens into conversation is always like, blah, 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 you've got X amount of money, you can do Y. Like, you know, like I didn't have that money years ago. I didn't have that money 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And even before I was a streamer, the people who were streaming could not even begin to dream about acquiring that much money. And then it fucking ballooned up. So there is always going to be like a debate in my brain about whether or not I deserve the amount of money that I generously am given each month, as a result of people opting to throw their money at me. So as a result of that, I feel personally obligated to offer as many opportunities as I feel like I can do without
destroying yourself. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Mhm.
or like it's not even like a monetary destruction, it's like a fatigue destruction, because
Right.
I don't have the energy to organize some of the stuff. So fortunately people put it on themselves to do it, but to give back as much as I can. And I've paid out for I gave someone $10,000 for doing for getting first place in a Smash tournament.
Jesus.
He said that he was going to buy a couch. I interviewed him on my stream. The list is more than I could even begin to imagine or quantify. And it is my pleasure to do that. And part of the reason why I think that these sponsorships will ultimately harm the dynamic between streamer and Twitch community is that there's no exchange of money to the people who are being leveraged as numbers to get that streamer that large amount of money. There's no, like, they might be like, oh, I'll do an X stream in the future to, you know, kind of make my peace with having done a sponsored stream, or like, you know, maybe I'll open some boxes, we'll do PO box stream, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, but they don't get the money. The money goes into the bank account of the person that they were used essentially to promote to whatever game company or advertiser wanted to buy space on their stream. So that's why we have like a human centipede in my Twitch community of money, basically.
What? Yeah. Okay. I mean, do you have a bit of like I call it imposter syndrome? This idea of like feeling like you're never doing quite good enough.
Yeah, all the time. And
I have that too. Yeah.
That's what makes a good streamer. I've talked to XQC about this briefly. I know that we basically feel the exact same way about how we're streaming and how we're doing it, and how we are always thinking about it, and how we can. It's the same sense of like you're just falling short all the time. And I think that makes a good career person in any career, not just Twitch streaming, right? Yeah. And that's just passion. That's what it is.
Interesting. I had this so I actually got this really bad in esports. So when I was running CLG, the thing about esports is like when you lose, you fucking lose, right? It's not like a normal business where it's like, well, our revenues are down 20% over year. Like, we could improve that by increasing our outbound sales. Like, it's like you fucking lost the game. Your fans fucking hate you. You're on the front page of Reddit. All your players are like, you're in this awkward car ride in a van back with some Russian driver that doesn't speak English when everyone doesn't say a fucking word for an hour and a half in LA traffic. And you're like, holy fuck, like, what do I do with this? And so I got this feeling that, like, basically everything was my fault. Yeah. And I had a business partner, a guy named, do you know Hotshot GG?
Yeah.
Yeah. So George is like one of my lifelong friends. And I love George, but he himself will attest to this, but like he would reinforce this really hard because he would like come into the office and be like, why are we fucking this up? Like, what the fuck's going on? And I'd be like, oh fuck, I'm a shit CEO every time, right? And like I took that with me into this now like kind of hybrid brand thing that I do with the agency and everything like that. And I genuinely literally believe that everything is my fault. And there's a guy that's been coming up in Twitch like really fast. You know, Dr. K?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he actually emailed me when he had 30 viewers and was like, I want to come on and that's my fucking jam, right? So I had him on. I had no fucking idea. We did like 4 or 5 episodes, right, guys? Like before he actually like met Reckful and then Lily and like everything went crazy. I had no idea he'd do that. But we got in a argument about this imposter syndrome thing, and I actually agree with your take on it. Was like this is a demon that I don't want to let go of because I feel like it keeps me really humble and relevant to the shit that I'm doing wrong. And like it sucks to have that sort of like soul-eating feeling of like, fuck, I suck all the time. But you produce more quality shit because your impetus is like forward. Like I have to do better.
For me, it was I remember being a kid running to get to the bus to go to elementary school because I was afraid I was going to miss school, basically. It's the same feeling for me. Really.
Yeah. So is that what allowed you to stay so consistent for so many years with like your fucking insane schedule that like when you were doing it was like 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then no 7 to 7, right? 7
it was 7 to 11, and then I was doing
again 7 to 12, right?
I don't know. It was like 9 hours a day or some shit though.
Yeah, and you would sleep during the break.
Yeah,
twice.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was good and bad.
Well,
the part of the reason why I got to the point to be able to do that is because I realized the opportunity that I had, and I didn't want to mess it up. And whenever I see a streamer, like some of my favorite streamers are pretty non-committal about their schedules and stuff.
Yeah.
And in fact, some of the people that I enjoyed watching before I became a full-time streamer, people that I took notes from, and whether to do or not to do certain things, I would get mad if they ditch a stream. I'd get mad if they didn't post on their Twitter about it. And some of the first times I ever went to Twitter was to check the Twitters of these streamers to see if they were updating, which they were not usually. And I was like, that's fucking bullshit. Like there's like, I want to watch this guy. He's funny. And I didn't want to ever have that be a thing that people thought about me. So I always, for the most part, try to, and I probably have like a 95% rate of doing this.
How do you stay, and this is going to sound like a super dickhead, but I think we've like have enough rapport that that I'm coming from like a productive place. Like, so like, how do you stay that productive and motivated in that sense, but you're also so fucking lazy? Like, how's that dichotomy work?
I'm lazy about everything else in my life, basically, and all of my energy goes to streaming for the most part, for extremely better or worse. And it's not necessarily a good thing, but fortunately, I have people who understand that the opportunity that I have is otherworldly.
Yes, very unique.
And should be taken advantage of at every opportunity.
But sorry, go ahead.
So I try to set up in as many ways as I can, have contingencies in to automate things, basically in my everyday life, that to the point where my bills are getting paid automatically. Like I don't have to worry about that mortgage getting paid automatically, like car insurance paid automatically, like literally just fucking
as optimized as possible to not have to worry about.
And I am an extremely lazy person. I'm late to my stream almost every day because I'll sleep in because I'm still tired, and I'll wake up and I still want to get food. So I'll just fucking go get food and then be like 20-30 minutes late sometimes. So, but I mean, like,
but you're not 2 hours late.
Like I'm not, it's never, extremely late. But that's a far cry from the streamers that I used to like watching, who would just skip days and then like not update anybody and then show up like a week later, you know?
Well, yeah, because I think what happens is this mindset is like, well, like these are nerds like us that like never had any kind of like fame or money or anything like that, and like what I'm interested in again, like just sort of trying to pinpoint these things that make you different and why you behave this way is like. You have this that you've somehow set this to like a 10 in your mind of like importance, and you didn't get caught up in the bullshit of it. Like you know that you're and again, I'm not trying to jerk you off on this, but like you are a very like famous person relative to this, and obviously there are and the way I think about this might be the same way, but like there are monsters and then there are monsters, right? You're not fucking Brad Pitt, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not like but at the same time like you are a person that streams to a stadium full of people every day, right? That's literally true, right? And like, there's some enormous amount of power beholden in that. Like, you could tell people to vote or something. I don't know, right? There's, I think about that kind of shit all the time. Where it's like, why is it that we have someone that's like 30,000 viewers, and then they could say anything like, "Hey guys, change the world," like my final message, but they just fart into a microphone. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, why is this a thing? But then I realized that it's like because they fart into a microphone is why they have the viewers. If they didn't, okay. So this is a vicious cycle that I go through in my head and makes me really depressed and want to drink. But anyway, that's not important right now. The thing that's important right now is you have a ton of money, you have a ton of fame, but you never let it catch up with you. Why is that?
Because I have people in my life that keep me pretty grounded.
Cool.
And I think because the thing that I enjoy doing the most is playing video games, right? And even it's like a perpetually, it will always be the fact that I have the ability to do that as a job, that like it just continually dawns on me as something that is a viable career option that I get to do without worrying about literally anything else, is basically my dream realized. So that's how I do.
Well, but so many people have, not so many people, but a lot of people have the ability to do that as a job, and they lose this somewhere along the way. They like, and this happens in Hollywood. I've seen this happen in esports a lot, where it's like they just get, we call it like a big head, or they get it about them, and a lot of people do it earlier than you. So you would get to like around 4,000 or 5,000 viewers, and then this would like hit you. But
I've seen it because I've seen it happen to people.
Yeah, me too.
That exact loss of drive or like fire, and honestly, it literally is them taking for advantage what they had. That's about it. And I think a lot of times it's combined with the fear of failure too. There will be people who are seeing their numbers drop after a boom, whatever it may be. And then they'll be like, "Oh, I'm getting 2,000 less viewers right now. This is fucking depressing. And I guess it's only down from here." And when in reality, if they themselves had done the research and had invested themselves into Twitch prior, would have known that they were always going to drop those thousands of viewers, because that, as fads on Twitch are wont to do, they move on, they go away eventually. And I think a lot of people aren't equipped to deal with that.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I've never had to deal with that. But I've seen it happen to a lot of streamers who are just completely eviscerated by, like GTA roleplay, for example. People who were streaming every day, 12 hours a day, who were getting 6,000, 7,000 viewers. They had, they went from 200 subscribers to fucking 8,000, and then all of a sudden 2 months pass, and then that 8,000 drops down to like 2,000. Yeah. And then they're like, "Oh my God, like it's literally over for me." So then they stop streaming because they don't want to look at their numbers because they're afraid of it.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It basically, I feel like that's kind of the process. That's basically what happens to people. It has happened to people who I enjoyed watching, who were not GTA roleplay streamers. And what makes the difference is me, because I had seen it in real time happen before I became a streamer. I vowed to basically, like, no matter how bad it is, I'm going to get on, I'm gonna fucking stream, and I'm gonna enjoy myself because this is what I enjoy doing. I enjoy talking. It could even be one person in my Twitch chat, and I would still be content, basically.
And I know a lot of people say that, but I actually believe it from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
that's what I used to do. It's what I used to do to my best friend. What I used to do to fucking like countless people over the years. Just one person, I was like, hey man, check this out, and then they would just watch me, dude. And there was
my strategy for this is I know that I'm susceptible to the psychology, so I don't look at my viewer count.
I don't look at my viewer count either.
Yeah, I hide my so I could not tell you how many subscribers I have right now. I have no idea. I also don't know how many viewers in chat. Before you say it, I time out for viewers. My mods time out for the viewer count. So just post like a normal, like a number that is not that number. That's actually like we have almost no rules in my chat. One of the rules in my chat is don't ever tell me my viewer count, because I will game myself. And so my policy is always, I want to run the exact same stream for 5 people that I run for 50,000, right? Or 5. I'm not gonna have 50,000 or 5,000.
That's like indisputably like how you're supposed to do it.
I think so. Yeah.
Like there's no one that will ever like tell you like, hey, that's wrong. Yeah, because that's how I do it, and that's how all the best streamers should do it.
100% game myself, and I also think like one really important thing is like if you looked at like my screen when I first like pulled you up on the data sheets on the analytics here, I look at you over like if I look at you at a 3-day interval, right? There's no real indication of what you're doing. 30 days is a little bit better, and I can see like you're up 20, which is, by the way, is really fucking crazy. But
where?
Like in 30 days, you're up 20% on your average viewers, 40% on hours watched, 23% followers, and 34. Your stats are incredible.
I think it's because of DBZ.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's skewed it up a little bit, but it's fine.
What happened in DBZ?
People just wanted to watch it, dude.
Yeah.
It was like watching anime with Twitch. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. I watched your whole. So I was going to buy that game, and then I just played it vicariously through you. So thank you for saving me $60. And also,
that's another thing I try to do for games that I intend on finishing is that I basically just try to provide that long play experience, because that's what I like watching on YouTube. Is I like watching people do like long play, like playthroughs of games. Sometimes like no commentary, just fucking.
Yeah, you have a really good way, especially in the DBZ Kakarot like series. You had a really good way of just kind of staying quiet for a while, and I mean this in like the most endearing way, right? Like you would make a comment when it was necessary, but you weren't like one of those streamers that was like talking all the fucking time. Like, I wonder if you have a philosophy about that. Like, there's these gaps of time on your stream that you sort of just allow for the gameplay to happen. That might be innate at this point, but
it's innate.
Yeah,
I figured. Say it's innate.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I gotta go.
Okay.
So is there like a? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I should have told you beforehand. No,
probably, but that's totally fine. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's dude. The fact that you gave me this much time is, I can't even tell you.
Well, we can do a part 2 if you'd like, because I feel like there's a lot of unanswered questions, and I would be down with that next week at the same exact time.
Are you serious?
Actually. Yeah, for real. Because I feel like we've only touched the surface here. So
holy shit, man.
There's a lot of things that I want to talk to you about, regardless. But we can end with another question, I think.
Okay, I will. First of all, that's fucking awesome, and I love it. Thank you, man. Like, yeah, like, I would.
You're lucky that we have similar hobbies, and that I like you, because otherwise I would have been like, peace.
Yeah, you'd be like, fuck this. I'm gonna go jerk off. I'm done. Why? I didn't expect the mud thing. That's some weird shit. Because there's a very, very small community of people
I did not know that you. Not only that, but that I knew exactly which game that you played.
After the stream, I'll type you some shit about that. I'll tell you some shit about that.
Dude, I gotta get Discord on my phone, man. Fucking slacking.
It's some crazy shit, dude. But okay, so like, as a final question, you have this is a kind of like, and yeah, there is a lot more, but this is, I think, a really good way to kind of cap it off for today. Like, you have a really unique ability to be in front of these tens of thousands of people, and a lot of your fans have found you here, which I'm very grateful for. Also, by the way, thank you for like spending a fucking week like actually talking about this. Like,
Yeah.
it's like so cool.
Mhm.
Actually, like, let me emphasize that a little bit. The extent to how cool that is, I can't possibly express to you. I hope you know that I thought about that every fucking day that I was watching your stream and I saw exclamation mark podcast. And I was like, holy fucking shit! Like, this is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to frame it. You know, I had to think of the completely a random aside, but I was like, because I always get people asking me about doing a podcast and stuff. So I figured the best way to get them to clickbait him would to have it be called exclamation point podcast, and then they're like people. I saw people typing that shit all week.
Yeah, I did too, and it was amazing, and I'm so glad you want to do this again. Like, dude, I can't even tell you. Like, it's incredible. I also feel like a sort of well, I'll say this after, but like, yeah, the last question would be like, I feel like you have so much influence and positive influence towards people. If you could speak a bit towards like, Twitch is a place. I'll try not to go too real here, okay?
Okay.
Twitch, I think, is a place where a lot of people come because they're like us. They didn't have like a lot of like they had a small group of friends growing up or whatever, but generally like they come there because they just want those like positive vibes, that positive energy, and
It's not even positive vibes, just a distraction, man. That's what it was for me.
Sure, or like just like to kind of get away from all the other bullshit. Yeah, like If you could kind of putting you like in a difficult place with this last question, maybe because I didn't plan this that well, but like, if you could speak to that and sort of like why you've tried to create a stream that is positive and like uplifts people and like how people are inspired by that, that'd be really super cool.
Okay, so for me, I like to give back as much as I can, not because I'm trying to make that kind of environment, but because I have a certain amount of guilt associated with being the one who was ultimately able to bubble to the surface in the group of people who are all similarly interested in things that I am. Two, I try to do it the way that I do because, like I said, I use Twitch as a distraction during a time in my life where I was super anxious. I had hyper anxiety, and I just that's part of the reason why I'm so sensitive to making like overly like personal attacks on idiots in Twitch chat, for example, or just derailing my streaming that way, because a lot of people don't want to think about that, and it reminds them of their mortality. So ultimately that's my goal, is to distract from one's mortality just for at least a little bit. So
awesome. Hell yeah, dude. I have a huge amount of respect for you. I think you probably know how much it means to me that you chose to come on here. I know you don't do this apparently just because people don't ask you, but
I'm glad that you were that you like my stream and that you were the one who does, because I knew that you would have good questions for me.
Yeah. Well, I have more, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again, and also just acknowledging kind of our kind of like mutual past, how we sort of cross paths on muds and shit like that is pretty crazy, and I think you're a very good friend, and if there's anything I could ever do for you, I hope you'll keep me in mind, especially given some of the stuff we talked about offline. It's just kind of weird. Yeah.
So about that, don't feel personally slighted if I
will not. Yeah.
If I ghost you, literally, some days it is all I can do to fucking take a shower, dude. You know, I'm still like in a completely singular mindset that is very detrimental to like everything else that I do. So
the good news is that I am my other costume is full-time influencer management, so I completely understand. And I don't take it personally at all. It's totally fine. I'm grateful that we've found our way into each other's lives for now.
Yes.
Yeah. So
someone in the chat said that sounds depressing. It's not necessarily depression for me. It's just fucking energy, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm not depressed. Don't get it wrong. I know that not showering every day is a symptom of somebody that is depressed. A symptom of depression. But I promise you,
I'm not. At 1 p.m. waking up 5 minutes before a show. Yeah. But no, he's fine.
That's just how I operate as a person, man. Basically,
it's not too far out of the realm of normal. Like there is like anyone that says there's not like varying level, dude. I love I have like a love of like roguelikes, right? So I play a lot of like Path of Exile on like
Yeah.
hardcore mode and things like that. That when a new league comes out, like I just shrink away from existence, fade from the public eye for like 5 days. I'm potatoing like super hard until like somebody has to physically come into my apartment from the business and be like, listen, dude, like you need to get like, and I'm like, okay. And then I like take a shower. I'm like, oh, like you don't have to like go. Like, yeah, I get it. I 100% get it.
Word. All
Yeah.
right. Well, thanks for having me on. I gotta go.
Of course, yeah.
I'm very sorry for the abrupt departure,
Dude,
but we will
this
continue
was
next
fucking
week.
amazing. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Moonman.
All right. Good luck with my Twitch chat as they filter out.
Oh, fuck that. I'm leaving. Not gonna deal.